All right, and we are live. The last word, LordCognito. No tie guy Travis, but we still got a cheetah. We taking it back to Flashpoint days. It's Thursday afternoon on the East Coast. How are we doing, E? It's been a minute.
Yeah, I know we kind of see each other a little more sporadically in these,
No.
face in a box chat, but we do what we can with schedules and travel for you mostly lately. But no, I've been good. Played Space Marine 2, working on a DLC for something I can't quite talk about yet, but it's kicking my butt. Finished up Destiny. We got news about Destiny on a Monday, which is a little weird. Yeah, kind of all of that.
Nice.
So it's been a little bit busy, but enjoying a few things. Jumped into Black Myth Wukong after a big break since because I was playing Outlaws, then I went to then I was working on reviewing that. Had the big start over bug I told you guys about. Been trying to play that a little bit offline because I didn't want to like stream it halfway through the story basically. Because I don't want people to jump in and be like, "Hey, I was watching it from the start." I'm like, "All right, well, I'm 2/3 through the story. Join me." It's like that felt weird.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that offline some, and then Space Marine got that going. I got almost about 50 hours in that one. I am probably one of the ones that are slightly lower on it than a lot of people.
Interesting.
I can see where the reviews come from. Like I get it. But for me, I played it solo. And that is also going to change your experience about that game. So it depends on your perspective of, do you have 3 fins that are going to chop it up and like have blood splattering the aliens and everything going through the campaign? Or are you going to do it solo with AI, which did okay, but depends on how you play through. The campaign does have like big spectacle. It's high detail. It ran pretty damn well. Like, I mean, if you picture like the skyboxes, which you would picture like a Destiny skybox, but it's a little closer because it's kind of showing the hordes and stuff, so it gives that kind of scale. The final mission was a big spectacle. Took me about 8 hours. Wasn't the longest in the world. Doesn't have to be. It's a shooter campaign. When you get done with that, you've got PvP, which kind of only heard okay things about. The operations are where you get your grind for progression in PvE post-campaign. There are 6 operations. That is it. And the amount of time, and each one takes you about half an hour.
Okay.
Each character has like 25 levels. Each weapon has like 4 or 5 different levels to them, and they take like 25,000 experience to get through a weapon. The amount of time, if you went through and calculated it all to try and unlock everything for operations, it's a very long time. Like an extremely long time, and you're playing the same missions over and over.
Over and over. Okay.
And for me, when I got to, there's 4 difficulties. I've played on 3 of them. Substantial, I've done about 4 or 5 times. Failed a couple. Made it through, I think, 3 or 4 of them. What basically did it for me is, for me, the smaller parry. It's the blue circle that will come up when a small enemy is jumping at you. Like the Tyranids, for example. That's the easiest parry window in the world. If you hit it any time kind of before it's coming, you're going to catch it, or you're just going to stab it in midair, and it's like an easy parry, and cool. The bigger ones, you can parry them, but I've played enough parry games to know it's not all me. But I know some people can be like skilled at it. It doesn't, it's a weird parry window thing for me. And being as it leans heavily into that, the higher difficulty you go for the big monsters, it's either a dodge or a parry, depending on the way you play. That's kind of an important thing, and I didn't love how it's either like I had a power sword or a chain sword, and it's just like part of it is just like, yeah, I'm swinging through all these little bugs, kind of like Starship Troopers in a mech suit, and I'm swinging through, but it is a lot of the same kind of what you're going through.
Like redundant to you.
Yeah, it just like the spectacle of what Space Marine was doing. And like for somebody who paid attention to the lore, I'm sure there's more to it when it comes to Space Marine, and 4Hammer 40K has
any of those.
40K has a massive amount of lore. I will claim I know none of it. That's fine. I am not Henry Cavill for many reasons. I am not Henry Cavill. So yeah, not Superman either. Believe me, that dude is a beast. For me, I would probably be one of the people who put it at a 7 instead of an 8. I understand the 8s, but I think for me, it's just kind of one of those, like, I was working on a couple videos for content, and they've done reasonable, and thank you guys for watching. But I just think, like, long-term grind, what it's going to come to, if you wanted to be efficient, which we, Destiny players tend to want to be, you're going to find the shortest mission with the easiest set of enemies, And then you're going to do that over and over and over. There is no like, hey, this mission's a little bigger and longer, or it's a little type of maybe you get a little more experience here. Same experience, same everything from every single operation all the way through. So when you're going to do an operation, it's all just going to be what's the most efficient way you can get the most experience for your time. And when I got to the point where it was like higher difficulty, okay, we're going to do this mission. We're going to skip through this area. So we're just going to run past this one. And then in this area, we're going to do these couple of things. And then when I see when things get bad, all they're doing is dodge rolling around the whole level to eventually get away. So it's like,
without the cover.
After playing other action games and shooting games and stuff like that, it's just like the hordes are cool. They get to be a crazy point. And I know when you level up, there will be a skill point to managing the right team synergy and working with a 3-person duo. Solo, it's basically not an option anything above the second difficulty, and I basically there was a point on even just difficulty 2 of 4, and there was like this pair of bosses and they kind of like shield each other. I was trying to do that by myself, couldn't get it done. Like, it took me 10 minutes of just trying to shoot at one and shoot at the other, and my 2 other guys are just like, that's cool. They're just so the AI is not helping me very much. Anything above the second level, and the second level I've even failed just with the AI. So it's like with teammates that with and if you enjoy going through the same missions over and over, but kind of leveling up and hanging out with your buddies, I can totally see the 8s or higher. I get it, like I do.
It's supposed to be with friends.
Like totally what it's for more of a solo experience, or if you don't have people to play with all the time. And maybe if you don't want to go from one game where you've played something a whole bunch to play the campaign, you're like, okay, what else do I do? Well, PvP's meh. Okay, let me do the PvE. This has got progressions and classes and upgrades. Well, what do? You got 6 missions. Do you do it? Nope. Okay, what's the easiest mission? And that's kind of where, like, when it gets kind of reduced down to efficiency, that's where it just kind of loses it for me a little bit. Like, I've had some fun kind of being the one person alive, running around, and like, but I'm just sitting there dodge rolling around a whole group of enemies, and then finally get back to my guy and pick him up. But it's one of those for me. I won't go like, I'll get one class, probably my bulwarks at like 18, which is on plenty of runs, but it's one that I'm not going to go through and unlock every single weapon and every single class, because that's just too much of the same.
No, I got you. I mean, it's interesting because I'm glad you told me your perspective as a single player, because I know I spoke to Maddie, and then like he was like raving on the way he talked about it was like he really sold me on it. But the thing that was interesting that I was going to ask you was that I heard that it almost has, I don't know if you ever played Gears of War Judgment, but like they had this feature where it's called the director. So every time you do a stage, there would be some aspect of the stage that's always different every time you play. And I thought that was in the game, but maybe it's not in the operations thing that you mentioned. So I don't know. That part I thought was intriguing. And then the other
what
part,
do you mean by, like, if you replay something, things are different? Like how? I guess I would wonder. Like, is it like the path you take through a level? Is it your experience in a certain area? Like, what changes?
Or like what you face based on like who you're playing with. Yeah, because I was speaking to Addict, and he was playing, I think, with Ticuu or someone, and he was saying based on his level and his upgrades, and you know, it was a completely different experience. So maybe it's a cooperative thing. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe
they were saying kind of thing. Could be, but no. And the only thing that sold me that Maddie told me about, I was like, all right. And again, this is again co-op.
And you would honestly, if you like Gears, you'd probably love it.
Yeah,
I'm serious. Like that's it. It is.
That's the vibe I'm kind of getting. Yeah. But the thing that I thought was cool was he said like the single player, you got your whole mission going on, and they mentioned like this other team, and apparently this other team is the co-op.
That's the operations. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, so that's the operations.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, got it. And it's like narrative. They try to like tie it in so you always know what the other team's doing.
Yeah, there's kind of like a thematic element to some of them. You're like, hey, here's this bomb you're going to explode while you trap people while you're doing something else. Hey, here's this like big guy that you need to kind of take out while we're doing some other thing. And it even tells you at some point in the campaign, hey, do you want to see what happened with the other team? You can go play it over here. And it's like, okay, that's cool. And yes, Space Marine 2 does have a content roadmap. The thing about the content roadmap, for me at least, was kind of the way things were timed on it.
Okay.
So, like, private PvE lobbies, because right now you can't just play with bots if you want to, just to try it. You have to matchmake with other people.
Yeah, they had ever.
And depending on how they do, good or bad or otherwise, or even if you just want to play you wanted to play a duo, you couldn't do that.
Gotcha.
That's sometime in September, a little later in the month. Season 2. And if Season 1 is right now, like we're going to start in September, you give that 3 months. December is when you're going to get your new PvE missions.
Gotcha.
And that could be 1, could be 2. It says mission, so, at a low level, 2.
Right.
You got a higher difficulty, you get a pistol and some new enemy. Now, we don't know if there's, like, whatever in there. Now, Season 3, new PvE mission, singular. But that's 2025. New PvP modes, new PvP arenas, new enemy, prestige ranks. So it's like, there's a plan for the future, but I do think the 6... are going to get a little, like, long in the tooth by the time you get to something like December.
Right.
You're going to have really played a lot of these if you're playing a lot.
Got you.
So
I got it. I got to fire it up. I haven't fired it up yet. There's been so much going on, but
I was like, I totally understand.
It's good to hear your perspective, though, from a solo player perspective. It's good to hear that.
I think that was part of the difference. Is like, I saw the reviews. I'm like, I think I'm going to be low on this one, and I kind of saw it coming. And I was like, I have a feeling like there's good. I even remember Skill Up saying he previewed it. He was loving his time in it. And I'm like, I'm really going to be the only one who wants to give this a little lower score. I was like, it kind of felt that way. Now, granted, if you're giving this a 10 out of 10. I got a couple questions for you. I don't argue with a 9. I don't argue with an 8, a 7. PC Gamer giving it a 6, and then them giving Star Wars Outlaws. I'm like, just kind of depends on, like, that's kind of one of those, like, Star Wars Outlaws for me in technical experience was like a 2. It just played, I mean, I've had like 50, 60, 70 crashes. Now, there was a patch recently. I also had a progression bug when I was playing the review in Outlaws, and I've still been powering my way through that.
The most unlucky.
I know. It was like me. I've done it multiple times. It's just one of those. But it's one of those, I'm like, okay, so it's like, because I thought about Star Wars, got ragged on by everybody, and I was like, technically, believe me, I understand it, but I was like, I also haven't overplayed the Ubisoft genre as much for the open world and the towers, so it's like, I told you guys what I hadn't played previously, so that was one of those where I'm like, I'm probably going to come across a little different here. Depends on what world you want to get into. But I was like, did they do Space Marine well? I think they did. It was just, once you get through the campaign, and if it was just like, hey, here's your campaign, spectacle done, yeah, that was pretty damn good time. It'd be like 7, 7.5, but I don't think I could get myself up to an 8. Once you look at the operations and then you kind of calculate the grind, I was like,
you like, I'm good.
Yeah.
This sounds like a more me type of game. I can see. I got to.
No, I was like, I think you'll have fun if you jump on them. You got 3 different Xbox invites that come up. Oh, come over here and play with us, and we'll go through this. Like, you'll be done. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I was like, I think I'm the odd man out, and I fully accept that. And it was like, I think more people will have fun. The DLC I'm playing for. Oh, actually, I can tell you what it is. It's a DLC for Prince of Persia.
Oh, that's your joy. Yeah,
that game was so good. I jumped back in. I can't say anything else right now besides the fact that I'm playing it. Game kicks my ass though, dude. It is like the parry window, the platforming in that game will challenge anybody. Like, you want to throw like that game. Yeah, you got to be on your money.
It's been like that.
And I think this one, they even focused a little more on platforming. I was like, huh. And then I went through it and I was like, yep. Because I went through about the first section last night. Took me a couple hours just to do the opening and then the first section. It's no joke. So I was like, if you want more Prince of Persia, they're coming for you. And they're definitely bringing it this time. So that's pretty much all I can say is the fact that I'm playing it and there's more of that coming. But I'm excited to kind of jump into that. It was nice to get a tease. Playing more Black Myth Wukong. Game is still fan-freaking-tastic. They just had one of those set pieces like God of War did.
Oh, the set pieces are insane. I just saw the preview at the beginning. I'm like, God damn.
Oh, the beginning alone, you're like, holy shit.
The beginning is world class. I was like, yo, I don't like
game from this studio. How are they doing this, dude?
Yeah, you put it, yeah.
I mean, they must have pulled resources from who knows where, but this set piece that I just got on, I kind of just like wandered into it, and it's like, are we going to move forward? And you're like, move? What do you mean? One of the things I love in games, and I've said this about Eternals, Marvel's Eternals, everybody's like, that movie's kind of meh. And I'm like, you want to know the one thing I love that it did perfectly?
Yeah, tell me what you like.
Sense of scale. The Celestial could not.
The Celestial.
Dude, the Celestial, I was like, holy shit, he's huge. And I'm like, that's one of those moments, I'm like, how small she felt just kind of floating there. I was like, I love when things make you feel small. Jormungandr in God of War.
Yes. Same
thing. Like, I love when you get that sense of how small you are, and they are also able to express how big something can be, because it's really hard to do sometimes to do it well. This is one of those moments where you're like, oh yeah, there's some big crazy stuff in this world, and another one happened today. So it was like,
that's what's up.
Yeah, knocked out like 4 more bosses, and from what I keep hearing from everybody is like, opening chapter 1, it's small. 2's bigger, 3 gets bigger, 4 gets bigger. Like it's like a freaking pyramid. I keep hearing. It's just like each chapter's broader, wider, more bosses. I was fighting a couple lightning bosses yesterday, so
nice.
yeah,
That's what's up,
that's
man.
what I've been. And then Destiny squeezed in there somewhere, but we'll talk about that. What have you been doing besides not being home?
Besides not being home and on flights and live shows and
I
all
saw.
over the place.
I always wait for those live shows because I've never been able to make it to one, but I always watch them later. So whenever that pops up and edits and everything else.
It was good. It was good, man. I got a chance to it was me. The Dukes were represented by me and Maddie, of course, and then Hogue.
Yeah, I saw he was there in that picture.
Yeah,
nice.
and then it was the Sacred Boys minus Dustin.
Yeah, man, I'm so sorry about.
Yeah, so sad about that. And but they had Jaffe, so that was good.
Ah, that's
and
right.
Then, the LSM fam came out, so I did that. Did a lot of traveling. Apologies for the fire department, as you know.
They just got to shut it down. You guys are too successful. Like they just nope, too much. Bring it back.
Bring it back. So no, other than that, so because I've been traveling so much, I've been playing a ton of Baldur's Gate. A ton. Yeah, so like
I am just like sit there and think through your moves on your mobile device or whatever. Yeah.
My 6-hour flights fly.
Yeah, oh my god, I imagine. Yeah.
Yes, I've been really enjoying it, and I'm finally getting into the minutia. And like, I'm not gonna front. Like, this game has so many twists, and like, it's double cross, triple cross.
My buddy was playing through it at one point, and the only thing he's told me about is at some point he was back in the base camp. I don't know if there's multiple per act or whatever, because I think there's 3 acts. But whatever base camp he was in, for whatever reason, something happened. One of his buddies got sucked down to hell. Things happened, came back. I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
Like, that's crazy stuff just happens, and then permanent changes are there, and you're going,
yes. Okay. I literally experienced what your friend just did. I literally experienced that moment. I was like, yo, what is going on? I'm just going to try to go to sleep to advance the day. And it's like, what the hell? It's that kind of energy. And it's just like, the beauty of it is that, like, everything is tied into the fact, like, sometimes it's huge scale battles, and sometimes major, also, where, like, NPCs can be killed. And that'll affect the whole timeline.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
It is so nuts. But I will say, to this day, I can't front. Like, I don't know what tech they're using, but when it comes to cinematic facial expressions and character talking, they are still world class to me, above everybody.
Oh, those else. Like the way that was that was for me what took it out of it. Was like, it was a couple of like, we've had your Last of Us's and God of Wars or whatever. It's like there's some dialogue, and then it was like I looked at like Baldur's Gate, and then I went to go play Starfield in private, and I was going,
oh, you just came from that.
I was like, I went from one to the other, and I was like,
it's jarring. Yeah,
it is.
That's hard. Not even in the same weight class. Like, and if you know when I know it's real, I made my guy. He's this dwarven monk.
Yep.
Right. Bro, the created character has as much detail as the guy, the guys that you're supposed to be, the NPCs and the main characters that you're supposed to interact with.
Those are pre-rendered,
like,
per se.
Yeah, bro, it's insane. Addict laughs at my character. He's like, yo, he looked just like you.
Oh, I believe it.
Just really short. He's a small Cabal, but he really is really short. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Short king over there. Yeah.
Sure, I got to represent for the shorties. But nah, I love it, man. So I've been rocking that. I've been like act 2, halfway through the 3. I'm loving it. And then playing a ton. I can talk about that. I've been playing a ton of Towerborn.
Yeah, I saw that early access is it today or yesterday that was live?
Yeah. Early access now for everybody for
today,
Steam, I believe. Yeah, today. And man, it's a beautiful little game. So what it is, it's like, I don't know if you ever played Banner Saga before. But
no, is Austin Wintry doing the score? Did he do that one for
I
can't remember. I'll look it up. You go.
I'll remember. That's a good question. What I will say is the classic, it's not turn-based, it's the classic stoic art style. Like the art style jumps off the page like it's a cartoon. It's side-scrolling, but then it's side-scrolling, but at the same time, you could go into the background, into the foreground. A little bit of, remember like Trek to Yomi used to do this once in a while? Yeah, so you could do that a little bit in this game.
I think Ori did a little of that, right?
Yes, 3 to 4 players. Classic, more of a classic beat 'em up with powers, but you could tell this game is very Destiny inspired. I was able to interview with a PR guy from Stoic. His name's Kevin. He's awesome.
Yeah, Wintry did it, by the way. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, the music is amazing.
Because I think he's always talked about Banner Saga too. So when you said that, I was like, I think I remember him being part of it. Because I mean, he did Journey. He's done Pathless. And I've just enjoyed listening to his take on music. Like, if you ever want to listen to like an absolute like music nerd in the best way I can describe it, his like thoughts and knowledge on like composers. I mean, you got like Danny Elfman and John Williams and all these things and stuff. But when he gets into some of the nitty gritty about like, it's crazy to hear somebody like just give a perspective on an industry that you don't know anything about. So it's always...
So Robert asking, all right, so Streets of Rage adjacent, how many buttons are there? So I believe you got your you kind of like 2 attacks, like an X or Y attack, and then you have your dodge.
Did you say like Golden Axe? Did you mention?
It's beat 'em up. It's beat 'em up, but like a little bit more, way more advanced with complete Destiny elements.
Okay.
So first,
like abilities and power ups, or gear type, or both.
So there's 4 classes.
Okay.
Right. So you got your basically sword and shield guy. He can repel. Right. Okay. Then you have what I would consider the hunter, the dual dagger, very rogue-like style.
Yeah, rogue assassin.
He's very quick. He can move. The game is all about juggling up your enemies into the air as well and doing big combos, which look beautiful.
That goes into Prince of Persia. That was a surprise on that too.
Yes. Then they got this one who's kind of like, you ever played the game from Nintendo called ARMS, where you got the big...
Right? I tried it for like 5 minutes, but yeah.
So this is the Titan class. Like, he's all about getting up and punching and doing really strong things.
Yeah.
And then they got
your
other
brute,
class,
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the 4th class is kind of like, he's got like a big, what they call it, like almost like a mauling type weapon, a war club. But it's unique in that you can put powder on it and it can turn into fire and you can burn enemies with it. Okay. So it's slow, it's powerful. But then it has all this crazy
like you can have elemental attachments to it.
Yes, okay. That's my favorite class now. That class, I played all 4. So basically you're these guys called the Aces. Think of it like Guardians.
Yeah.
Right. They're resurrected. They're here to protect the great city that has fallen. The belfry, it's the tower. Yep. Bro, it's straight. The PR guy that I interviewed, because I was like, yo, I'm a Destiny. Oh, he said, I'm a Destiny guy too. You can tell this game is inspired by Destiny, but it's the beat 'em up variety. And
side-scrolling beat 'em up with a little bit more depth to it. And
with loot drop. And it's a looter.
Okay.
So you've got the drops, you got your legendary. Oh, but here's where you're gonna love it, E. Guess what? The armor. Bro, you could get unique armors that you can have set bonuses.
Oh my God, it's not that hard to do. Come on, Destiny. What the fuck are you doing?
Armor is actually valuable, bro.
Sorry for the small curse in there, everybody. I'm just gonna leave it.
You don't have to go to 801, and you can do it on the fly in the UI screen.
What do you know? Weirdest thing.
Yeah,
we'll get to my thoughts on some future stuff, but yeah, that's. I mean, come on, that's been around since Diablo 1 or 2. Did whoever came up with it's been around for like 30 years, and we can't seem to get it in there.
My only nitpick is I just wish the game had voice actors. It's just everything is text. That's my only. But it's beautiful, and the art jumps off the page like a cartoon. The create a player is very extensive. I've been loving it. I'm playing a ton of hours, boss battles. I don't know if they're gonna have raids and dungeons yet, but the roadmap is extensive. They're talking about big plans, and now the Steam is out, and they're gonna do cross play, cross progression with console and everything. Nice. So I'm a big fan.
That's
of
why
it
you
right
jumped
now.
on. That's why you jumped on PC, because you got the crossplay later. Because otherwise, you're like, well, I'm eventually going to play this on console. Oh, it'll carry over. Smart.
Yes. So early good start for Towerborn. I think it's a lot of potential.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. I mean, it's been. I'm not saying we're like reeling from Gamescom and stuff, but I still feel like not much has slowed down since then. Is probably what I would kind of describe it as. Like it just. You know, there was like a 50-minute video I now need to watch because there's Crimson Desert, which people are now describing as like Zelda meets something. What was the comment about this thing?
Interesting.
I feel like it's going to be 26 because it's probably one of those that looks big enough that it's likely to get delayed. I'll send you the video, but it's this massive like picture Dragon's Dogma and Zelda, and this just kind of all of that vibe, open world, a little more singular. It looks like, but. If it's one of those, like, if they can pull it off, you're going to have a hell of an adventure kind of thing. Same stuff. So
Looks good.
Oh, you don't have to delete 99% of your armor?
Yeah, we got to talk about that today. Yeah, we got to talk about it.
We got a lot to discuss in Destiny, so I won't go too hard on the many other games that I keep thinking about and watching.
Too many.
Only one I want to call out just to make sure more people see it, just because I feel like it's on PlayStation Plus. I don't know if it's premium or which version. It's called The Plucky Squire. Been talking about this for a little bit. Please, everybody, go check this out. I loved the first trailer because it looks like a 2D little indie game, and then the guy jumps out of the book into the room, and it's full on 3D rendered like Astrobot. Also, another game I really want to play, but I haven't had time. Like that might win Game of the Year, and you know what? I am totally for it. I love when random games out of there go. Because also I've heard everybody's just like, I mean, it was like Jake Baldino usually has a very level-headed take on a lot of things.
I love Jake. That's my guy.
He's usually like kind of in between. Like, he's like, he may not be the highest on something. He usually isn't the lowest on something, but he's, and he was just like, dude, this is just why games are fun. And I heard that from multiple people, and I'm going,
it's a love letter.
Yeah, it's just, do you enjoy gaming? And I think like if you enjoy gaming and platforming and just fun, so this one's not too cute for you. Is this?
I mean, what you mean, Astro or Plucky?
Astro or Plucky. No, honestly, either one. But
Astro is technically borderline too cute for me, but the reason why Astro gets a pass is because PlayStation 1 is my favorite PlayStation. That's what I fell in love with Sony, because I was like, this is a new company. They're doing all these aggressive new things. And there's so many throwbacks from franchises that I grew up with that I'm like, man, that's cool. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm definitely will get around to it. Just like, there's so many damn games. Everybody wants to take your time.
Yeah, so it's like, I want to play Plucky. Oh, and then Frostpunk 2 is like 3 days after Plucky. And I'm like,
yeah,
I haven't even touched Astrobot. Come on.
Bro, it's too much. And then Space Marines. And
I keep worrying about February, like Q1. I feel like it just keeps, because I feel like Dune, they're like, oh, early 2025. I was like, no, don't say it. And then like, you've got Avowed, and then you've got Monster Hunter Wilds, feels like early 2025. I'm going.
And then I'm a Kingdom Come Deliverance.
That's the other one that's like a week later off of. Oh, no, that's a week before Avowed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you know other things going to try and squeeze into like late January, and like whatever's not in February is in March. I'm not looking forward to that. I am, because I love like gaming, but it's just also one of those times I'm like, gotta try and pick your battle, and you never quite know which one's gonna blow. Like, I didn't have Pal World anywhere on my radar, and then all of a sudden I'm like, let me go ahead and jump 50 hours into this game.
Yes,
because everybody's playing it. And
what threw me off was I didn't expect to go crazy with Konitsugami, right? It was just there's so many other things that pop up that are surprises. So glad I beat it too. Yeah, so it's just so much, man.
All right, Destiny. We are approximately however long in. I'm going to try one of these little chapter marker things, but
check you out. Professional podcast.
Well, no, OBS had an update. So the longest time you either record an MKV, and then you would have to render it later into an MP4. Now they have like a hybrid MP4. So if your computer crashes or power goes out, the MP4 is not lost, which is already huge. So you don't have to re-render. But the other thing is, you can supposedly add chapter markers, which I just maybe need to figure out where to turn them on in Premiere. But if I can just go be like, bink, like chapter marker, that's... So I'm trying to do a little testing on that one.
Little timestamp?
Basically, that's what I want. If I can do timestamps with a hotkey... Well, it's like, I literally set it up over here on my Steam Deck, and if I can do like chapter marker, like bam, like if I'm close enough, I can go find it, and then timestamps get a little easier. Okay, we got a lot of information.
Let's get it.
High level view. Or even go into any of the details. Where are you at? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Is it enough? Like, what is your vibes on the future of Destiny 2? Before we go into everything.
I'm glad Tyson, what's his name? Tyson came outside.
Yeah.
You know, we needed to hear from him. We need to hear from the team. Mixed. There's one thing that I said, okay, you know, I need to know what they're gonna do, right? And what's the roadmap? Because I think the reason why I stopped playing and I figured it out, I know why I got depressed and stopped playing. Destiny is always about what's the next best thing, what's the next thing coming, right? And when there's a part of me that was sad, because I'm like, if once I do this raid, there will be nothing left for me to do. And I don't like that feeling. So I was like, all right, let me stop. So now we get to where we are. So we got the Codename, we got the expansions, we got the, Apollo Behemoth, we talk about 2 major updates. The thing that I was promising was like, they were talking about experimenting with different game type and modes and mechanics in terms of the core gameplay of what Destiny is. Yeah. That excites me. One of the things that I remember was me, you, and Travis were talking about. It was one of the seasons where Mara was about. It was like the ley lines, and we had like a mini
Shattered Realm, right?
Shattered Realm. Remember the Shattered Realm?
I've always enjoyed that. Yeah, I've talked about that.
So to me, I do agree with the concept that Destiny is at its best when it tries to be different, right? Love that concept. The key is going to be the execution. This sounds nice, right? The other thing is the expansions now, we're going away from that. Apparently, we know they didn't make money, and now they want to change
But they still have that name.
Right. And then, but to our understanding, it still feels, and correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like they're gonna be like lesser than expansions
Yes, they
and
are
almost
lesser. I mean, you get
DLC.
2 in a year. There's no way it's going to be the same size as a year. That's
Right.
just
So
guaranteed.
my concern now is the development lift on how much quality you can pack in that. And is this cadence something that you can commit to consistently engaging content for us? Or are you content to be like, you put something, you go away? So I'm mixed, man. Like, then the core game modes, we'll talk about Gambit, what we're gonna do. I didn't see enough PvP for me to get super excited
Oh, yeah,
about
I
that
feel like
part.
that just... I
Yeah.
don't think there's a lot of excitement towards that from what I've seen.
And my other worry is with the raids still being as consistent as they're going to be, I worry about Leviathan Apartment 2A, 2B syndrome, where if you
Smaller scale raid. Gotcha.
and I gotta be honest, I never really liked those raid layers, those raids. Even no disrespect to people who love what was the Fallen one where we fought the big Metal Gear machine at the end, and it was
The trash compactor one? I
the
mean, that's
one,
what he was. He managed the trash chute for the ship. Like that was his part. It was what he did.
wasn't that one that was the
The
one
big giant Vex dude in the bottom, like...
no, not the Vex, the Fallen. He was in a big. That's the first time we ever seen a brig that was like huge. He was a
Scourge
boss,
of the Past?
Scourge of the
Oh, okay.
Past. And I'm like, even that, not that it was a bad raid, but it was still like a 3-parter that was smaller that I consider like, other raids kind of thing. So I know, again, I just worry if this is still going to be enough. In fairness to them, I'm willing to, see it out, see how the lore advances. Oh, I will say this. I didn't mind where they were like, how narrative, Destiny would always go ABC, and they would talk about
Now
how
you're
you
just
jump in
getting all
A.
into the nitty gritty here. I mean,
Sorry. Okay, so that's pretty much.
yes,
We'll get
like,
it.
yeah.
I'm curious about how the lore is going to work with this
Yes.
new approach. So let's
Very
get into
much.
the nitty gritty. And first of all, what was your top level though? What was your where you at? Oh, we gonna go. We just gonna go into it.
Wait and see. That's
Okay.
where I was. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll wait and see. Because right
Okay.
now I'm in the very much apathetic state of Destiny.
Yeah.
And this, we will get to Act 3's finale. Like, after we get done talking about this, so I'll save that for the very end, but I will say that didn't help a lot.
Oh
So
no.
I'll leave you for now.
Oh no. Okay.
So, for me, yeah, it was a lot of, okay, I see a bunch of stuff here. I see you're talking about some stuff. I'm not that excited.
Mhm.
Will I play the Destiny content to see the story and experience things like dungeons and exotic quests? Yes, I will probably always do that. Sure. Is there going to be some content peppered throughout my channel that covers it? Probably.
Mhm.
Am I really excited to be like, am I lifing Destiny anymore? Probably not. And nothing here is telling me that I'm going to be doing it either. So that's kind of the thing, is like, as I like mix my time with more other things, making time for the like, after Final Shape, this is kind of the point where you're like, hey, do you play episode 2 or do you play Vessel of Hatred on day 1?
Right.
Previously, that wouldn't have been a question for me.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like, huh, there's a thought in there. That used to not be a thought. I gave up on Zelda, which I love. I did so many other things for Destiny. That mindset is not there. So it is just a different time. Nothing in here that I've seen so far has told me you are going to life Destiny again.
Yeah.
Nothing that I've seen here. This is going to be enjoyed in bits and pieces like other things, and that's fine. When we come to some of the features that they talk about, I don't know if I have much faith in some of the stuff I'm seeing to be enough to move the needle. And that's kind of it, is like, will some of it still be here? And if Destiny is your jam, cool. You're probably going to get some more of what you got if you're loving it and you play it sporadically. You might not get burned out. But if you have been playing for 10 years and Final Shape felt like a good ending point, I'm not sure what's in here is going to do enough. And
That's fair.
I think right now what enough is, for some people, is truly Destiny 3, and we know that is not in the cards. It is just not in the cards because the team that is working on Marathon for the past 3 or 4 years would have needed to have been working on Destiny 3 to have that been even remotely nearby, because it's 3, 4, 5 years away at this point, probably at a minimum. Like, it is a full Destiny 3 to try and do what Destiny 2 did and not come out and say, like, it's light on content and everything else, to not feel like it's an empty game. If you're going to try and do it again, having Destiny 2 living on, and that's kind of why they probably know that it's almost an impossible thing to do. It's what it needs, but it's also almost an impossible thing to do. So, okay.
No, I agree. Let's get it.
That's my gist. So, they do the 10-year anniversary thing. I feel like some people were not really loving some of that stuff either. So that we don't really need to cover too much on. There's just like there's a seal or a title you can get called Legend, and it's just some stuff that you can go through and do, but it's going back to the Pale Heart, and I'm like, I haven't been to that destination in a while, so there's also reasons for that. But we have a roadmap. That is the first thing.
Yes. Let's get it.
I actually did this out of order when I was streaming it live, because the first article I clicked on was the core activities.
Yes.
That was the first thing I read. Then I got to this. I was like, oh, I'm way out of order. Whoops.
Gotcha.
So summer of 2025, which timing wise, where we're at, we get a expansion called Apollo. Expansions contain the following things: stories, new locations, new missions, new weapons, new gear, new raids, and dungeons. Now, my first question.
Yes.
Is it a raid in both? And that's where I get to your thought about scale, or is it a raid or a dungeon?
I'm gonna assume it's gonna be a raid or dungeon, and you're not getting both.
That's kind of what I was trying to say. Like, I said the same thing on stream. I was kind of like, do not get your hopes up that it is a raid per, like, we get one big raid per year that's new.
Yes.
It's different to kind of polish one. It's not easy work, but it's work. But then it's like to get more than one brand new raid a year between creation and testing and balance and everything else, you're not getting to in a year. That's what the dungeons are for. They're a little different.
Exactly.
So,
way too much development lift.
I'm with you there. So one and then probably the other. Seasonal updates. Goodbye episodes, by the way. That you had a short run and not a good run. You had 1 year and you failed. So episodes are gone. We are back to seasons. We've got new and reprised activities. You got a mix. Some new, you might get some stuff back like the coil or other things. If a reprised activity comes back in a season, is that anything you even care to go play? Or like, I guess I wonder, like, are they going to do the coil again, but like they're just going to give a different skin, or are you really just going to go back to the coil, do you think?
My guess would, when I say reprise, is, in vintage Destiny fashion, we will, hey, Menagerie's back in some form.
Onslaught or...
Yeah, like something older, and then they reskin it and then put some lore bit to it, kind of thing, as the reason why we're going back to said location.
That sounds pretty accurate to me.
Yeah.
New gear and artifact mods. Artifact's still a thing. We get new gear and more new gear.
Yeah.
Lots of gear, because I don't have enough gear. No, not enough gear in my vault.
Yeah.
New modifiers and challenges. Just honestly, I have to wait and see what those are. We can talk a little about the challenges. We'll get to that a bit later. New sandbox meta. That's truly just their balance pass of whatever they want to
me. Yeah.
Well, it's also like whatever they want the artifact mod to shine on. That's truly that seems to be what they want to do.
Literally, my later days towards Destiny has always been towards the sandbox meta, because I get to try different things that I've put down and see how ineffective archetypes now become effective a little bit. That's my little game within the game.
And new events. Or is it just the same events from the past 4 years just coming around again? We don't know.
I would assume it's probably that, as opposed to...
like, if this is the time they update Festival of the Lost, I will be surprised.
I will be surprised, yes.
Seasons are available to all players, so they are free. So you will get the seasonal content even if you don't even buy the expansion. The rewards pass, do you think that's your purchasable season pass, but they're going to call it a rewards pass kind of thing? Do you think that's where you got your paid line and your free line? Maybe you get because it's got exotic weapons and ornament, so that feels like a very much maybe paid first line. The question will be is like the exotic weapon and ornament. If you don't buy the rewards pass, are you going to not get it, or is it going to be buried out in like level 35?
At level 50.
Okay. I'm like, if they don't, that's going to be a real quick piss off moment.
Absolutely. Yeah,
legendary weapons and armor ornaments, gear, upgrade resources, cosmetic. It's a pass. Like, we know what those are. So you got summer update. So major update, summer 2025, Codename Arsenal. That's kind of season 1. Fall update, major update, Surge. That's second one, and then you've got one for winter and spring that pair with the other expansion, Codename Behemoth.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the roadmap. And they basically say 2 expansions per year, 4 major updates per year. They say over the next few months, we're going to share more information on Codename Frontiers. They describe that as something different, more the major innovations they talk about. And we'll kind of get into some of that with gear tiers and challenges and things of that nature.
Question.
Yep.
What do you think they price these expansions
I
at?
was debating on that. I was wondering.
Yep.
I was
What
like,
do you think? Because here's my question.
do you think
All
the
this
expansion
sounds
and the
nice.
reward pass are separate?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think there's a year bundle, a 6-month bundle, and then just an expansion and just a reward pass? Do you think each of those exist? Year, 6 month. So, like, do you want the Apollo bundle? Do you want the year bundle? Or do you want just Apollo or just the reward pass?
That's a part of me that feels that they will do Apollo and separate as opposed to giving you like a year thing. But I mean, I could be wrong. But that's, see, to me, what do we pay now? We paid, I know I get the super deluxe all the time version. So I don't know what.
I think the final shape by itself, final shape,
yeah.
which basically came with echoes.
Yeah.
I think that was $50.
$50. But like,
Let me go look on
what are
Steam.
we thinking Apollo expansion is going to cost in a climate where they themselves have said, it has come out and said that the expansions were not profitable before.
Yeah, final shape is 50, just to clarify.
50. Okay, so 50 for the record. That's my question. Because now you're doing 2, right? 2 expansions per year. You were doing 1 before at
I honestly
50.
thought if you did just Apollo, it would be 30. If you do the 6-month pass, it might be 50, almost kind of the same.
Right.
And then if you do Behemoth, like 30 with the updates and the reward passes combo, maybe 50. So
I'm going 40, man.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say 30 is because you see 2 expansions. If you say 40, that is the same thing you could buy Witch Queen for on release. I don't picture these as big as Witch Queen. I think we know they're not going to. Your story is not going to be an 8-chapter campaign with cinematics like we got in Final Shape or Witch Queen. I don't see that. Do I see them asking for the money? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I do. Absolutely do.
Okay, we did.
Yeah, no, it's like I was going for 30 as more of a hope. And then if you do the year bundle, the 6-month bundle, you kind of get up to 50, maybe the $100 for the year. If it's yours, that turns into 60 for 6 months. And then it's like a 120 bundle, which is probably where they want to push the price to. I'll be honest. Like that's probably where they wish Final Shape could have been for a year. They probably were hoping that in episodes they could probably get to 120, but they couldn't.
Right.
So
yeah.
Somewhere in that 30 to 40 range.
30 to 40 range. And then you throw in the additive rewards pass as a separate revenue line.
If you just do, say, the summer update rewards pass, that's got to be $10 or $12.
Yes.
If you do the full 6 months, I don't know, 2025, whatever that multiplies out to, like nothing's going to be, there's not really going to be a lot of bundling discounts here, I don't think.
I agree. I think we're on the same page. I agree.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, well, there was a point where they talk about getting new players in, and all I got to do is pull up Steam, and I got to pull the 14 line items down. I'm like, you want to have new players come in? Simplify that, because I went to go look up Final Fantasy 14 for a comparison. They have the starter edition. It is $20. You want to know when Apollo comes out? If it's not Final Shape, everything before that should be $20, and that is your starter edition. Shadowkeep, Witch Queen, Nightfall, which, sorry you got to play through it, but you might have to. That should all be $20 for a basic starter. Cover all the exotics and stuff that you can go in from there. You want to go play Final Shape, one of our best campaigns in the world? That might be 40 or $50, depending on the timing of everything. Then if you want to jump into Apollo, we'll figure out what that price tag is. You should have a max of 3 things in that damn store. That's it. Not, no. You want to know what the Legacy, the Legacy Collection's on sale today.
Okay.
It was $70.
Ooh.
Right now it's $20.99. So if you do want to pick that up. See, that's what that should, like that, whatever, like,
prices never go down.
No, man, like that's, Witch Queen right now is $30. Like none of the others are discounted, just the Legacy Collection. So it's, if they want to have a hope of getting people into your player base,
Mhm.
and you want to have them tell us, like, you need to find a way to streamline that story to go
Mhm.
Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, Witch Queen, Lightfall. You finish this campaign, hey, go check out this one. Hey, this is the next thing you should probably do. Hey, this is the
Mhm.
next thing you should probably do. Work them through it and guide them through it so they can experience these characters, get some small introductions, see a
Mhm.
pyramid ship on the moon for the first time to then go in a pyramid ship later.
Right.
That's kind of,
Now,
go ahead. Like, that's
no, I was
just
gonna
it.
say
They need to do something about the pricing model for sure.
absolutely. Now, my question, I don't know if you saw it because I didn't see it here. Knowing you saw it. That new UI that they had as a placeholder I thought that was a good start. I thought from a
The portal
simplification
for the
stand,
core activities.
yeah, and it was like, individual ops or like solo ops and Vanguard ops and, the Pinnacle ops. And to me, I was like, okay, this is a start to try to clean up this thing for a new player to just jump in and say, okay, what can I be doing? Now, it
Yeah.
still has a long way to go. It's still
Yeah.
not perfect. But I thought that was like a good stuff. Like, what was your thought on that in terms of like onboarding and trying to bridge
It's a
that gap?
starting point, but yeah, I was like, I
Yeah.
would definitely want to put a different test audience in front of it to see how does a new player handle it, how does somebody like me handle it, how's like Travis's friend who's played for 6 months. You need a
Right,
couple
right.
different people to blindly sit in front of that and see how it
Mhm.
reacts, because my perspective, knowing what
Yeah.
is where, I have an idea what's going to be in there.
Mhm.
But if somebody is just like walking in, what do they do? That would be probably
Yeah.
the bigger test than anything, just to see like a blind test subject, because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm always skewed on how it is. Like, I can figure out what's in there just by context of what we know about Destiny. Does
Yeah.
the average person get that same information out? And that's
That's a
where I
good
have the
point.
question.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So we're gonna hear from Tyson Green and Allison Lurs.
Yeah.
First one is gonna be on the vision for the future of Destiny 2 from Tyson Green. Gives himself a little introduction.
Mhm.
They talked about annual expansions. Basically, kind of being, I mean, we've heard about it. They didn't make as much money potentially as they were hoping. They gradually had less and less. When your player base
Mhm.
goes down, that's going to happen.
Mhm.
Um, Trying to scroll through because I don't want to read the whole thing.
No, I got you.
Seasons we're going to change to 2 expansions per year. Our seasonal model will change as well. Instead of 3 episodes, we'll be building 4 major updates.
Mhm.
Each expansion alongside the major update to start the season. Strikes, exotic missions, entirely new modes like Onslaught, and rewards, new weekly events, new features, combat meta. I mean, basically, it's Destiny.
Yeah.
Like, it is more of it. The big
Mhm.
seasonal reset will still happen, but now twice a year alongside the expansions.
Mhm.
Each update will be a substantial refresh of the core game, bringing new activities and reward content. We're also excited to announce that Destiny 2 Into the Light, like that, these content will be free to all players. So the seasons will generally be free. Core game activities always available, and that's a whole different page in and of itself.
Mhm.
Um, But they say starting next year, instead of 1 big expansion, we're going to deliver 2 medium-sized episodes, one every 6 months. Each one of these will depart from the one-shot campaign structure we've been using, and each will have an opportunity to explore new formats, which we'll get to when Allison talks
Mhm.
about it. We're excited to try new things that challenge your idea of what a Destiny experience can be. So this is where I have thoughts and questions.
Okay.
We are actively prototyping non-linear campaigns. They talk about that a little bit later, so we'll put a pin in that. Exploring
Mhm.
experiences similar to Dreaming City or Metroidvanias. Now,
Mhm.
having played one of the best Metroidvanias that I've probably ever played this year in Lost Crown, Metroidvanias are not small.
Right.
A good one is never that small. They don't have to be huge, but they're not as small as anything that I could picture in Destiny, because if you picture the guy on screen in a Metroidvania, those are big levels in comparison and big
Mhm.
like zones and worlds to go between. With a
Mhm.
Metroidvania, you got a decent amount of exploring, and you're going to get an ability, and you're going to be able to get to stuff later on. I
Mhm.
cannot picture the scale it would take to
Mhm.
do a Metroidvania with any respect in the size of Destiny that
Right.
can fit into a 6-month expansion.
Mhm.
That's where I have the question, I guess. And it's like, we did Shattered Realm. It was time
Yes.
gated. This
That
is
was
not going to
good.
be time gated. If
That was
Shattered Realm
good.
was not time gated, would it feel the same way?
Right. No, I get that.
That's kind of one of the wonders. you know, they also say unusual formats like roguelikes or survival shooters, which I feel like they're just going to take whatever they can and move it over to Destiny.
Right.
Because I feel like that was one of the things that they were working on. Roguelikes, they've kind of dabbled a couple times with the coil and whatever, deep dives and stuff like that. Again, those were like beta tests. Same thing.
Right.
If you're going to do something like a new thing like Onslaught, you give me a real tower defense. Customizable positions where the defensive go. Not trip mines that are a complete waste of time and space, so you only have two things that you really care about. You know, decent level, like actual levels that are built around these things. So you have a real horde mode and stuff. Like if you're going to do those types of things, I wonder when it comes to the scale of Destiny itself. Because if you're going to do a Metroidvania, I feel like that needs to be big to make the exploration worthwhile, so that gets kind of tough. If you're going to do a roguelike, you need a lot of abilities to make this not just like, here's a little bit of solar, here's a little bit of arc, here's a little faster recharge, go do the same thing you've done multiple times. Survival shooter, that's a whole genre in and of itself. I'm like, that's a lot of work. So again, these are like great ideas if they can execute on something that actually justifies like the names of these genres. That's kind of where I wonder if they can deliver, because we still are in Destiny 2's engine. We're still in like the sandbox. And when we got Onslaught, I was like, this is Onslaught 0.5 at best. And I was like, there's a long way for this to be a real kind of like tower defense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
So that's kind of where I'm at on that.
You're talking about the actual commitment and investment to the mode, right?
Yeah.
So if we're gonna do
I don't
it
want a
right,
half-assed like Metroidvania.
I guess for me, I agree with you. I think that, but I do feel I love the idea of them talking about this. I like them talking like this because we have to be honest. It's after a while, there's so much of the same you can do.
Oh yeah, like don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
thinking about doing these things are exactly where they need to be.
Yeah,
I fully agree with you there.
Yeah, if that, again, the question is, to your point, can they actually commit to make these modes substantial and actually hold weight to other games that have similar type modes, right? And that's the question, because when they do attempt it, you get the mode, but like I said, you don't get the full thing. Now, granted, the what was the one with the ley lines again? What was that one called? The Shattered Realm. Right. That one, I got to give them credit, man. That was really well done, in my opinion. I thought, outside the fact that it was time gated, right? If you just look at the mode in itself, and I remember even Travis talked about, like, that was one of his favorite modes they ever did.
Oh, Destiny's I still enjoyed that one a lot.
I still love that mode. Yeah, Destiny's great when they attempt these things, but yeah, it's going to be the commitment, and we got to see. But I like them. I would love to know what is a survival shooter in Destiny. What does that feel like? Kind of thing. What does more Metroidvania or other these type of formats like that go on? Like, obviously, this is being ridiculous. Like, what is a battle royale like? I know that's being ridiculous, but just trying different things. I think it is needed because it's 10 years of playing this game. Things got stale. It's only natural for things to get stale for as long as we've been doing the things we've been doing. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. If you come out and you say, hey, the Behemoth expansion has one of the best roguelikes I've ever played, you can knock me over with a feather, but you're going to get people to come in by word of mouth.
Yes.
That's what's good. That is what it is going to take. And I think that's where you're nailing the head.
Yeah.
If they reach for something that's not typical for Destiny, but they can actually execute on it,
right?
You're going to be like, there's a survival shooter in Destiny? What? And it's good?
Yeah.
That will trickle between enough of the people who have the community still somewhere in the back of their mind, even if they've checked out for a while. And then depending on if the price point's right, if it's got enough of a depth, like, that's kind of thing. They can't be shallow.
Yes.
None of these modes, like survival, roguelikes, Metroidvanias, why do they work? Because there is depth to unlocks, to progression, and all of those kind of things. And that is something Destiny has struggled with for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
And that is, for me, where, again, we'll get to some of the other stuff. I don't know if I love them thinking about it. As you said, we don't have to beat it to death, but it's like the execution is going to be the hard part inside of this universe. In this engine, in this game, yeah.
And especially with less people working.
That's the other piece, too, is like you want to do more. Now, the one thing I was talking to Chad about is if you picture the teams that are working on the seasons and then working on Final Shape, that is a large group of people. Now, you can, granted, you've lost a chunk But you take a massive campaign team plus the seasonal teams, and you almost just go 1 and 2. So you can take a pretty sizable chunk of people, and now it's not like Tom Farnsworth and he's got a seasonal team over here working, and they might be doing some, but it is more, you've got like hopefully one funnel where you're working on like Apollo, and now instead of a seasonal team, you have an expansion team. That is what I would hope to picture in my head, because I think that's the only way you can deliver on even half of the stuff they're working on, is like you need an expansion team. Now your raid team might sit at the top, like your raid and dungeons, they're still going to do their annual like work raid in one, dungeon in another, is still what I picture. But like that whole vertical of Apollo needs to be like a full team. I think that's the only way to deliver even remotely enough, is to get that many heads together.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what my head thinks, at least.
Yeah.
Core game, approachability. Destiny is too complex. We have literally hundreds of activities, and you practically need a PhD, not really, but to play, to know what to play, and to get the rewards you're looking for. So they're looking to modernize the director. They talk about their deep dives that they're going to be releasing, which are part of Codename Frontiers, kind of the overall big changes. Gear and challenge should matter. That talks about the actual gear and challenge. Now here's where, like, kind of the surface level question that I've got. As for the rewards, there will be higher tiers of legendary gear. Think Adept and Artifice armor. Right now, that does not excite me. Artifice armor is still pointless if the stat roll sucks. If you get a 64 and I have a 67 and my stats are where I want them, that does me no difference. So that's not exciting. Adept weapons, generally you're bumping up your stats just a little bit. And they're going to be higher challenges. So we will, now some people want the challenge. I'm not going to argue that. Some people want to just, we're going to see Esoteric go solo the highest thing possible all by himself. And that's totally, and he is the beast for doing it. That is fine.
Shout out to the Terminator.
If the juice for me isn't worth the squeeze, it's going to be hard to like want to crank up the difficulty for like the most minor minutia in the world.
Yeah. Let me back you up a second. How you feeling about, they're talking about higher tiers of legendary gear. And did you see the
yeah, we'll get to that page. The whole tiers of weapons and tiers of armor.
Cool.
Like
I'll
they talk about it.
Yeah.
Basically, it's enhanced everything is what it looks like.
Yes, is what it looks like. Yeah.
So for me, when I see higher tiers of like, first it's just your third and fourth column perks that you can enhance. Now you've got an enhanced origin trait. Now you've got an enhanced magazine. Now you've got an enhanced barrel. I'm going, okay, enhanced typically is just a small stat boost. After 10 years, is that enough to really excite somebody to say, hey, your light mag that's going to give you a little bit of range and a little bit of reload speed, bump those up a little bit more if you enhance it. Can all of those things combined together make a weapon feel that much better?
Right.
Now, the one thing that I did actually see on the weapon, I guess we're just going to jump into this. The one thing that I saw on them is that you had the yellow, when you have the little yellow gauge, it's how much it's bumped up.
Yes.
Impact was included.
Yes, I did see that.
So that would be the only thing where you're actually doing more damage with a better weapon than you normally would. Now, if you get to the point where your weapons are actually stronger,
right,
and they like reloads feeling like if everything kind of meshes together and you get a base level versus this one and you look at them side by side, like level 1 versus level 5, maybe. But also, if I'm just getting another Scathlock, but this time I could just take it to enhanced level 5, I'm not going to be as excited if it's just another reskin. And that's kind of where, you know, kind of the give and take. But I still, even if it's just the impact going up, making it to where finally they do more, I don't know if just enhanced everything is quite enough. Now, granted, it's Destiny, it's weapons. I understand there's only so much they can do, but that's kind of where the whole Destiny 3 question comes in, is like, we need the reinvention of this, not just like the prettier. So that's
the add-on.
I will want to try it to see how these like weapon tiers and things go. I don't still know how much the needle moves with that for everybody. If I'd say, hey, you've got 5 tiers of these weapons in Destiny, are they still the same weapons? They're going to be similar, yeah. I don't really want to go get the same weapon again. Like that's where I wonder where some people are at. Maybe they will, maybe they won't.
And I get, for me, you know, I even saw Origin trait listed as one of those upgrades, which was kind of interesting. My main thing is, okay, as a person that loves this style of gameplay, but my main thing is like, now you've multiplied exasperated the vault space issue.
Oh, 100%.
Because now I'm going to have so many versions of something now, right? And I still don't hear no talk about that, but we'll get into it. But yeah, look, to me, these are very short-term kind of things.
Yeah.
And how I look at it, and to what you said earlier, which is kind of like the real solution needs to be Destiny 3.
I mean,
unfortunately,
and
we're not
unfortunately,
getting
it's not
that.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we're just not getting that.
that's kind of the thing is like if you have a Metroid, if the gameplay is going to have to pull more weight, I think, in these expansions to keep people around. The gameplay and the activities being fun or creative or challenging or puzzles or whatever it is, because I do think the longer anybody plays Destiny, the loot becomes more and more redundant because how many different ways can you shoot the same Cabal in the face? Like it is kind of a thing after a while.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the loot may be cool, but is it enough? I was like, I think the thing that can do enough can be cool modes, even if it's shorter lived than it used to be.
Yeah.
The cool mode is what's going to keep people going. It's like, hey, I have these weapons already. Maybe I can get some upgraded versions, but this thing I'm playing in with these weapons is what's keeping me here. I think that's where the more important piece lies. So yeah, that's most of what we're talking about, gear and challenge, and there's 2 different complete articles we'll talk about on those, so I don't want to go too deep, even though we kind of touched on most of it. Multi-year saga starts with Codename Apollo from narrative director Allison Lurs, who basically was on Final Shape, so hats off to that one.
Salute.
Definitely sent it off well.
Oh yeah, that's a great way to start. I like that.
Yep. So the episodes close the doors and open new, purposeful ones. Storylines are set in place to prepare us for what's to come. I can tell you, in my opinion, Act 3 didn't do much. So hopefully the other 2 episodes do more, because right now we'll get to my thoughts, but you're kind of probably reading between the lines here.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
So what's next in our new saga? So we got some cool concept art. Kind of looks like there's like these kind of floating like space balloons, like
space balloons.
I would almost, you know what a weather balloon is? Have you ever seen those? They're matte, like just way up in the atmosphere. So they kind of look like a futuristic like space balloon, because they kind of have this like drifting, like they're attached to the ground by cables, but they look like they're kind of like pulled by air. It looks like this is kind of it looks like a sea floor where almost like a ship is like beached, but there's like no water to be seen, so I can't tell if it's in the background or if it's
they
like
drain Titan out. Yeah,
I mean, you got weird canyons and overhangs and everything, and then there's a ship sitting in the bottom. So yeah, it looks like something got drained or a lake or wherever. They say you'll see in the next you'll see teases of it in the later 2 episodes and then fully kick off with Codename Apollo. This next saga is also based around a core theme, much like Light and Darkness was. It'll introduce plenty of new characters, factions, twists, and more. There's a lot more here we will say eventually, but they don't want to spoil the journey. They say our first expansion, Codename Apollo, is a non-linear, character-driven adventure. Now, I don't know if you listened to the Skill Up review on Star Wars. I think he phrased it pretty well, because honestly, like, he was like, is this game have like boring repetitive combat with just a blaster? Yes. Does it also have some cool characters and it drips in the Star Wars universe? Yes. Like his was literally one of those like this or this, and he just says yes. You ever done that to people just to mess with them? Kind of felt like that. His issue with Outlaws with regards to the first 2/3 basically of the game is you're going to these planets trying to recruit your team for this finale section, which he actually thoroughly enjoyed, but the build up to it was not so great because you could go to whichever planet you wanted. Then we literally get a non-linear discussion right here where you potentially can go to different destinations for certain reasons to slowly move the story forward. So with Codename Apollo, what is non-linear? Instead of A, B, C, D, you can go A, D, B, C, Q, V, X, whatever. However you get from A to Z eventually, it's kind of going to be some of your choice. Some natural progression is going to happen as you do certain things, they state.
Right.
But the more you play, the more you discover, the more the story progresses. So a certain number of threads open up when you get to a certain kind of like trigger point, and you'll be able to do more things. And I will say one of the best things I read in this entire section. There's no time gating.
Let's get it.
No waiting for the next drop. Story unfolds based on your own progression. Now, if you are going to get people to play, that is how you have an expansion.
I like that.
All expansions should be like no time gating.
Yeah.
Period. So that I will give the W. Absolutely. Destiny is at its best when it's mysterious, weird, and not afraid to try new things. We kind of just got done talking about that. The shift to nonlinear stories isn't something we're locked ourselves into, but it's a structure that fits Apollo. And this, honestly, I could see this makes sense because if they're doing new characters to tell different new stories, you're going to have to go around and meet all these new characters. And you may not get like the biggest culmination per se in Apollo, but I feel like if they're doing a 3-year saga, I think, did they say 3 years? I feel like I'm thinking of I know World sold for World of Warcraft is 3
Yeah,
years.
I'm not sure
I don't know if they
said.
said how long this saga is, but
Yeah.
but whatever this one is, this feels like chapter
It says
1 of set.
multi-year journey.
Yeah,
Multi-year
multi-year,
journey. Yeah.
so however
Okay.
long they want to go. This does feel like these are the new people we're going to be bringing into this world because
Yes.
some have had resolution, other things aren't otherwise, but to tell new stories in potentially what these pictures are, new worlds,
Mhm.
we're going to give you some new people to talk to. And this is
Yeah.
probably the bigger, so I would picture this is more of a, there's like movies where you got kind of more the setup movie, you got the big things that happen, you got the more bringing it up. This feels like part 1 of whatever this is going to be. And it feels
Yeah.
like this is where we get a lot of new things that may not completely resolve this time, which
I agree.
we know Destiny definitely is the dangling spaghetti threads of narrative that are undone, but that's pretty normal. What is this concept art doing for you?
The first one a little bit I liked. I did like the whole beach situation with the thing. I'm very curious what these entities are. Obviously, we're seeing these, whether I would call them the evil weather balloons. They're all over the place. I'm not like, obviously they can't spoil, right? They can't spoil a big bad. They can't spoil that, or
Right.
it's something they're building. So clearly, this
Don't
is
need to pull
slow.
What is his name? No, it's always the one that kills me the most. Batman vs Superman. Who is the villain in that? Dead.
Oh, was it Darkseid?
No, well,
yeah.
He was teased in a later one. No, it's the Doomsday.
Doomsday.
They showed
yes,
Doomsday in the trailer and killed it.
Yes.
If you don't show Doomsday in the trailer, that movie actually has a different feel to it. If you don't know he's coming. Granted, not everybody loved it. I thought it was okay, but if he's not in the trailer, you don't know that going in. That kind of changes how that thing goes. Same thing here. Don't want to give away the big.
Don't want to give away the big thing. You're planting the seeds. That. So this doesn't necessarily like wow me. Yeah. What wows me, what excites me is I want to see. Obviously, they're going to introduce. It seems like they're going to introduce a new set of characters or characters that are going to have meaning in this new saga, right? What I want is I want more resolution or twists or changes with the current set. We've went with this current set for 10 years of characters, right? I would like some dramatic changes to at least a few of them. Some arc changes that are really, serious and substantial.
Like in Final Shape was, somebody going to sacrifice for somebody else or do anything big. Didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen. And let's be honest, we didn't really get, outside of, Cade was, Cade came and went and did a very
temporary.
Temporary. Like we didn't get, sorry. We didn't get any major loss. And I think they're still dancing around that. And I don't know why. Like it's like, even if it's my man, like, yo, he got to go. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't got no powers. What is he doing? You know what I'm saying? Or are you going to rebuild him? Like I have to give Travis that, like, what are they doing with Osiris at this point? There's some characters that it's like the arc seems to have completed. Or if not, then you need to introduce whatever this major change is. Because at one point I thought he was going to get stranded. That didn't happen. So I'm like, all right, what are we doing with him? And there's other like Drifter, the 9. Like there's so many things here that it's like we need an infusion of these, what she said, twists and major changes. I don't want it to be just, okay, we add new characters. That's cool, the advance story. And then we just leave these rest alone for the most part outside of the major vanguard, which we know will always most likely be there, right? So that's just where I'm at. I'm very lore conscious with them. And not that they can't pull it off. This has probably been the strongest part of Destiny over the last couple of years that has improved when we first played this game since D1, right? This game was all over the place in D1. But since D2, I have to admit, narrative has definitely been, better. So, I just hope that is paid attention to, and, we just got to see how it is with episodes.
Real quick, forgot a few super chats, so I do want to call those out.
Oh, yeah.
Forte, your trade-ins at GameStop, your PS5s are $385, so you can cut that Pro in half. Space Marine 2 does have Content Road till 2025. That was Necromancer, so I did want to touch on that. I think we got to.
Yes.
And then burning question for me, are things still going away after 1 year? Seasonal things feel like they probably will. Expansions possibly won't. That's kind of where it's kind of that one I don't know if we've got fully answered yet.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into the PS5 thing today. That's for another discussion.
Oh, that's for another day. Oh, boy.
Honest, you want to know my short thoughts on it?
Yeah, what's your short thoughts? Give me.
It's a 4090 of It is not for everyone. If you want to spend the money on it and see something a little prettier, sure. Can you get a 4070 and get damn near almost like all of it without quite the bells and whistles? That's fine. What it does for other things, that's one. But it was like, it is a niche product. And honestly, what I picture it doing is exactly what a 4090 would do over 4070.
I mean, I hope you ain't hoping that it's going to be a 40.
Hell no.
You scared me. I was like, does he think this is a 4090? Okay.
You know I'm smarter than that. Come on.
Okay. You worried me for a second. No, I got you. You just said this is the enthusiast upgrade machine.
The other thing I do want to try and clarify is potentially what that's going to be capable of with RDNA 4, faster unified memory and things like that. It is probably going to be hard to get a PC that can do exactly equivalent to that for $700. I think that's harder than people think it is. So
I get that.
Unless you want to have like a garbage bin for a case and a power supply from like a car, like if you're trying to like jerry rig eBay parts together, you might be able to get something.
Yeah, you talk about the equivalent at the price
PC
to
equivalent for $700 for what a PS5 Pro can probably do. I think that's harder than some people are thinking it is to truly get what's there. But that's kind of that was just my quick thoughts. Is like it's niche. They're gonna see what happens. The PSVR that bombed horribly, and I think but this one, there are people who are just going to trade in, and I think for some people it's just going to be there. I don't know, but I was like, I don't think it is a big deal. Do I think it's got a huge audience? Probably not. Like that's just...
I get it. My short thoughts are, obviously the price. They don't want to take any losses on hardware. Two is just that my concern is that you didn't show anything new to showcase the difference and what. And I
fully get that. Like,
first party game.
Why are we buying it? And
Hogwarts, bruh, it was still 30 frames per second, and Digital Foundry is saying, they don't expect it to be 60 frames per second with Grand Theft Auto. So I'm just like, for me, that killed my enthusiasm because it's just
no. I mean, that's kind of one of those things. Is you can sit here with a 4090. And like the joke of previously, you have a 1080 Ti. Cool, that's the most powerful graphics card that's out right now. Crysis 3 could bring every card to its absolute knees for the longest time. Same thing when Cyberpunk came out. If you turn everything up,
goddamn,
good luck finding 60 frames on basically any hardware that exists right now. That's why everybody, like, I'll even joke, like, hopefully my 5090 will run this well whenever I get one. That's kind of the idea, is like, you can always have unoptimized software.
Yeah.
Some things are easier to develop for than others if you have enough power for them. And that's kind of the thing I'm with you on, is like, if they come out at the start of, if they do a state of play in February or something, they're like, hey, here's Wolverine, which I'm still waiting on.
Like, that's what I
want. No, I know. Believe me, I know.
Wolverine. Just show the new. Don't show me
exactly
some
what I
old
wanted
joint.
to see, and we got nothing.
Bro, Last of Us already got a 60
Now,
frames
here's the thing I got to say in advance. They said this was a presentation from Mark Cerny. That told you everything you needed to know before you ever went into this, and if you were hoping for anything besides him...
The tech ASMR?
Yeah, exactly. That dude is smarter than I will ever be.
He's
100% smart man. But
I never just.
If you say he's going to do his presentation, if you watch the one on the PS5 the same way,
the PS4 Pro, what he did,
or no, the PS5 is the one I was thinking of, talking about the SSD and stuff like, all that stuff. That is what the technical piece is for. There are certain people who will watch a Gamer's Nexus video or all the detail, and they probably are like, cool, all right, so we got these shaders now. I'm going to go look at the clock rate here. There are 36 compute units now. This is going to go up to potentially 60 now. Like, this is kind of like, you can see, those are the nitty gritty people doing that math. Should they have hyped it up as much as it was to be like the PS? And that's kind of the thing. Like, nothing against Mark Cerny doing it, but his presentation is not like a state of play. It's a different thing. And that was kind of why I was like, I get why people are like not thrilled, cost too much. That's fine. It is a niche product for the high tech nerds.
Yeah, the enthusiasts.
Exactly. And those are the ones who probably are like, oh yeah, cool.
Fair enough. Like
that was just where I was. So
I got you.
Yeah. When they come out and say, hey, this is the best place to play Monster Hunter Wilds and GTA 6. Or I think somebody was like, if they do a Monster Hunter Wilds PS5 Pro, I'm really in trouble. And I was like, I probably would be too.
No, I feel you, but they better get. I'm hearing no 60 frames on GTA. I'm not into. I was like,
it's still gonna run better than anything else. But yeah, if you can't run it at 60, and that is the one thing that's going to be interesting. No PC at launch for GTA 6.
True.
Is the best thing for every console that exists.
Oh, facts. Oh, console sales.
Every next gen console is going to go.
Facts. Oh yeah, console sales.
Like college football started it.
college
GTA
football,
6, yeah.
and then Super Switch or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Consoles will be selling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, sorry, small random thoughts.
Good tangent. We had to get that off. We didn't talk about it.
Okay, so core game activities. This is their first developer inside article for Codenames. TLDR, Codename activities feature a wide variety of new and updated activities. Challenge customization provides a way to adjust difficulty. The new portal screen they kind of touch on as well. So the problem in the past, all attention has been on a relatively small offering of the newly introduced seasonal activities. Yes. Most often with a narrow range of difficulty options, if any, and also lack of matchmaking, but that's just me saying that. Rewards and objectives has focused on purposeful play into these activities with the exclusion of most others. As a result, the ritual game quickly becomes stale. Yep. And is exhausted of worthwhile rewards, and any further pursuit requires a deep knowledge of Destiny or online guides to find worthwhile rewards and other activities. So they are aware.
Yes.
How quick can you change things? That's always the fun question. So one of the solutions is this concept art of the portal. We can kind of talk about this at the same time because they do two different articles that kind of rehash the same stuff. So the portal, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you've got season rank in the corner, season power, which I'll be kind of curious where that all lands. Apollo in the bottom hand corner, upcoming expansion redacted, quest, season pass, map, destination, store, and curator. And this is where you will find a little bubble for solo ops, fire team ops, pinnacle ops, crucible, and the event. And then there's a little tiny up button on the D-pad to say all activities. So that's probably back to more your director, I would guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yep.
Towers next to Apollo as well. So Apollo would probably take you to the campaign, maybe that more specific stuff.
Yep.
And then you got solo, fire team, pinnacle. And they kind of go through what those are. Which one is it? It's these. Solo ops is 1 to 3 player activities, very low time or social commitments. So this is the Lord Sov playlist.
Yeah, this is definitely you and the Lord Sov playlist.
Sov and me.
Yes.
Then you got fire team ops. So these are your strikes, your onslaught, your coils, those kind of things. Flashpoint ops, which they say will be coming a little bit later. That's going to be your 6-player. We've had 6-player seasonal activities like the big ship battles and stuff like that. Pinnacle ops, these are your dungeons, exotic missions, full-length onslaughts. Bit more of a commitment. Then you got crucible and events.
Of course. Raids will be, I'm assuming, added at some point to this UI.
Where did they mention? They mentioned something about that, and I kind of want.
Because
Pinnacle ops.
Where raids at, bruh?
In addition to the above categories, the portal will also provide direct access to the expansion activities, as well as any currently running events like Iron Banner or Festival Lost, and that is kind of a thing they feel like might be missing. So the portal screen will also host consolidation of streamlined side objectives like bounties, seasonal challenge, and the aspect of the redesign is a work in progress, but the goal is to reduce the chores. Yeah, well, that's kind of a tough thing to do if you're still going to have the chores in the game, but we'll see. Every day there's certain like weapons, armor. Why do I think so? Are old activities going away? No, except some seasonal activities that are normally removed at the end of the year. Older activities will remain available to launch from the destination map, just as they are today, kind of as we figured.
Yep.
What about Gambit? Gambit will remain available in the destination map, but will not be rolled into the portal categories. We are still figuring out a plan for this beloved. You know, they should have that thing in like, they should have it like italicized and strike through or something on beloved, because I don't know about that.
Italicized strike through. Damn.
There is a small, tiny group. There is one classroom in the stadium of the Destiny players. There's one classroom of people who are sad for Gambit.
A thriving Gambit community.
Will raids and dungeons be in the portal? I knew it was somewhere in here. Dungeon content will be featured in the Pinnacle Ops category, with some alterations to the support challenge customization. Raid content will not initially be present in portal categories. The long clear times combined with the wide variation in experience present some unique challenges that we're still working through. However, we're excited to get this content into the portal offering in the future.
Interesting.
So, looking at that portal,
you
take your perspective, but also think about a brand new player. Granted, it's a big work in progress, but
Yeah,
do you feel this is a place to be like, I want to boot up Destiny and then I can go do stuff? And if I want to do the campaign, go click on Apollo. What do you think? Does this help versus the director?
I want to give him a little credit here. I thought it would look, it's not perfect, but at the end of the day, you got to consolidate. You have to simplify. You have to make someone who doesn't play this game, okay, where do I start? Okay, I'm looking to right. Oh, this is Apollo. This must be the new season going on. The key for me is going to be the indicators and notifications and the way they're handled for the new player. Like, for example, you see the star over solo ops and fire team ops. Like, okay, the indicator, hey, you got more things to do in these categories and stuff like that. The reason why I'm hopeful for this, to be honest, I don't know if you use Fire Team Finder. Have you used it since the new iteration of it?
I messed with it a little bit here and there.
I actually think it's really good.
No, I mean, really honestly, it's one of those things we wanted for a long time.
Yes.
I'm glad to see it's like out of the beta, basically.
Yeah. And since it's come out, I've utilized it a few times, and I was very impressed with the amount and ease and the way it's structured to get right into the mix and get someone in there. So off of that, I feel better about this. And they will continue to iterate. It's not going to be perfect in the beginning. They're going to go through their growing pains, just like anything else. But I think this is a great start because, again, when we think about Travis's friends, shout out to Brendan and the friends that I've actually met now in real life, say that we're on the show. Oh, yeah, you guys were on the show at the wedding, kind of thing. It was so dope kind of hanging out with them. But, like, that's the pain points, right? You want to do that. So I like this. I think this is a great foundation to improve and iterate upon.
Yeah, I mean, can't really argue too much on that one because we don't have anything like this right now. So the fact that we're actually getting a chance to have a new player, still need that streamlined a little, need that fixed a little bit. But if you just like log in, and if this is kind of your default pop-up, you can choose campaign, you can choose activity. It is easier to get around than the director because that thing is a lot for a new person to digest. So
also want to comment on Prescott because he says he's worried. He said all I see is a slow loss of soloable content. If anything that'll keep me from playing in the future, it's that. Been worried since Nightfall. I normally would agree with you. I guess the sentence that I would give you a little hope for is I like that they said solo ops will also feature a new activity type, which we get a deep dive to. So they're coming for you guys.
Yeah, that like the fact says, that I remember that line. Yeah,
that's hopeful, man. I like that. That means we are going to make solo specific content. Stay tuned. So give a little shot on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you got matchmaking in your Fire Team and Flashpoint. Pinnacle, I think they should do matchmaking on or off, or basically Fire Team Finder. But the fact that they even thought about a solo thing, just the fact that the concept bumped through enough heads to make it here is good. Like, it's just kind of one of those things. Like, somebody probably threw it out there, may not have got a lot of traction, but enough people pushed for it that it made it in here. So cross our fingers and hope that they can deliver. I'm with you about skepticism. Believe me, I get that. But
of course,
I do think the fact that that's mentioned is my biggest thing about
that's why Prescott going through it. I feel listen,
need hard facts for it. I get that.
Enough.
I told you my vibes in the beginning of this. I'm like, I got to see it before I believe it.
We're all in the same thing. Yeah, we got to see it. It sounds good, right? We got to see the implementation. But I love the mention, and in their credit, even with Triumphs, the last couple of seasons, they've been slow to include like the solo. If you solo something, you get this, or kind of thing. So I got a little hope. I know.
My biggest thing about solo content, especially when you get into dungeons and stuff, balance it for a solo person. Holy crap! I am sorry. No, Shadow of the Deep. Is that the dungeon name? Is that right?
Yeah.
Water
one with Oryx at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand that entire thing. I did not finish the whole thing because it was like a little bit of health left and I died on like my 5th damage phase. I am sorry, nothing needs a 5th damage phase for freaking anybody. Scale, and if people are really good and they can get through it in 2, that's fine. If you're a little slower, it's like 3. But like, I don't need to do 5 damage phases if I'm like reasonable on DPS just because I'm scale it for a solo player, then we'll talk.
And then what's crazy is they do it for campaign.
I know.
They do it for campaign, but they haven't applied this technology to the other content.
This technology, you mean math? It's math.
You
This
know.
is not technology. This is math. Actually, probably pretty basic arithmetic if you're talking about like life values. So
I would agree. Yeah,
That-
he needs some Ghost of the Deep love, man.
that was where my solo flawless broke. I solo flawless Warlord's Ruin, but I still have never gone back to that one because I'm like, screw it, I don't care. But my streak of solo flawless stopped there.
So is it the air pocket stuff, or is it which
I don't even
particular
care.
fight?
Like everybody always hated the water stuff. I'm like, that never bothered me.
So you're good at that. You were comfortable with it.
No, that didn't bother me at all. I even got to the point where I was crazy enough that I was good at doing the tiny room. Now, granted, the build,
nice.
it was the arena. I got 5 phases through the final boss. I understand the mechanics, but every boss phase is like, go over here, take care of these guys, make sure you don't get nuked by the Hive Guardian in each
Hive
room.
Guardian.
So you got to play cautious. Okay, that room, which symbol is it? Okay, then we got to go out and go to the other room. Is it that
The
room?
final
No,
boss.
okay, then we got to go over here. Then we go over here, work on this Hive Guardian, come back out. Okay, check. Make sure you don't get killed by all the random shit that's flying at you. Go into the final room. Go in here. Okay, set up the room, trying to run around. Are you in the right place to make sure you do damage? Do your damage while everything's trying to shoot you and kill you at the same time.
Yep.
And then finally, if you do survive that, you got to do it like 3 or 4 more times.
Yep, that brief damage window. There's the Hive Witch. Yeah. So annoying.
And I was like,
I think I've done it like once or twice. I still ain't get that damn.
I don't
what is
have
it,
the exotic
trace?
because I gave it.
What is
It's the Strand Trace Rifle. I think.
Strand Trace support rifle.
Yeah, and I just was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I've damn near mastered. Obviously, I didn't quite master, but I'm like, I can solo it. But it's like, if you fail the boss phase as a solo person, that's like an hour. I could finish the first part of the dungeon up until her in about an hour and 15 minutes. And I swear it was a 2-hour recording after that.
Facts.
45 minutes to try again. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm kind of done.
Random question with Warlord's Wood. Did you get the exotic? The void?
No, I don't have that crossbow.
Oh, okay, good. I'm not good, but I was like, okay, I don't feel bad. I thought you had that. I'm mad. I want
That's
that.
kind of.
So
I mean,
bad.
that's slowly where I've been getting to. Is like, do I need to grind out a dungeon? That's why I haven't done the raid the same way. Is like, I don't want to put the time into this thing over and over for a chance at this thing. If it's from a quest, I can work through the steps. But I'm like, a random drop from a 2-hour activity as a solo player, or a random drop from a group running through for an hour, and you get like one chance a week to do it. I'm like, I did that stuff back in World of Warcraft. Like, I am so done. Like,
he said I'm good.
I've done that enough. I'm checking out of some of those grinds.
He
now.
put his veteran card. He's like, yeah, I ain't doing that. Them days is over. That was when I was a young buck. I used to do all that craziness. Yeah, G-Man. See, man, y'all got buried bloodline. I hate y'all, man. I love Rocket Sino. That, and I want it so bad because it's void and it has Devour and it's a play style.
I've heard it's good.
Synergize. I want that thing so bad. G-Man, stop flossing, man. You ain't got to throw it in our face like that. Continue.
All right, so your challenge customization.
Yeah, yes.
Do you feel that the reward path looks to justify what you're going to be doing? Because what I see in the reward path, this is all placeholders. I get it.
Yes.
Upgrade modules, base engram, 3 weapons, 3 pieces of armor. It looks like a prime and an exotic. The higher the difficulty you go, potentially modifiers that you put in there to make your rewards higher, unlock more modifiers or unlock more rewards for what you're doing.
Yeah.
Also looks like they're completely throwing our power level scaling completely out the window. 2000 is like not even near here.
Yeah.
So you got Advanced 3, 4, Expert 1, 2, and 3, Master 1. Just all the different incremental difficulties.
Yeah.
And the difference...
I'm sorry, continue.
I think weapon tiers will come into this, so that probably will play a part of what you're going for here. But, you know, when it comes to scoring and gameplay and rules, and they're like, we're going to have different things besides just enemies do more damage, or so if they have some creativity to it. But I'm like, there are certain people who are going to love this. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You're above SOs.
Oh, yeah.
Shadow on Tuesday reset, he's going to be like, all right, what's our challenges we're going to work on and play today? Cool, I'm checking out after that. Like, those are going to be an option. Does this do anything for you?
I mean, the only thing it does for me is the one where it allows me to, if you up difficulty, I guess pick modifier changes, because one thing that is a pain point for me is I hate being locked into the one modifier, one shield type, and you have to take specific weapons, and that's it. I would at least like the options for different builds per the difficulty, and I think that's the thing for me that I would say excites me. At least I like that it's there, kind of thing. Everything else is like, okay, look, yes, if I do something on a harder difficulty, yes, I want to be rewarded more. I get it.
Yeah.
This particular mock-up of this is not the most exciting. You know what I'm saying? So I have to see the implementation of it. So I like the concept of it. It's just going to be the implementation, because as it stands right now, that is like, okay, all right, cool. You're giving me a little bit more rewards, fine. My main thing is give me more flexibility on what I can use. I hate the fact that it's just, you gotta come in. It's gonna be this one modifier. You gotta come in with this arc. Like that gets annoying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, all right. So that's pretty much where I'm at. Where are you with it?
Similar. I mean,
Yeah.
I would probably say I'm in a pretty similar boat. It's good to have options to challenge. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Only time's going to tell. I think on that one, we'll talk a little bit about more of the rewards in a minute, but
Right.
that's kind of the thing is, are there leaderboards? Are there challenges? Is there bragging rights? Are there cosmetics to this? Like why keep pushing to that higher level? If you can give me a why that's worthwhile, maybe. Yeah. Is it just to say I did it? That's going to be for a smaller group of people.
Yeah.
So I've just kind of got to see. But also it's like the Glassway strike. Do I really want to run that again? But I am 100% with you when you said, let me play it my way. I am so tired of this is the surge for the week, or this is the threat of the week, or this is like, that stuff gets old. So if this gets rid of some of that, I'm actually more okay. If like, hey, if you want a gameplay, or if you want certain things to be, if you want to go with a solar build, that's your thing. Pick solar. Like, if you can choose to have some of that stuff your way, kind of like Burger King, have it your way. Yeah, have it your way. It's like, if it's choice, it's one thing, but it is really, really annoying after a while. It's like, okay, and we'll talk about Act 3 eventually if we finish this podcast. What is the modifier this week? So I got to change up my loadout for what's here, force things. I got to look for infusion material. Like that stuff just gets tiring. So
yes,
I'm with you. It's like, I got to know why. Don't force me to play. Like, yeah, I'm with you on that one. They're like, introduce new combatant abilities to increase their threat. Now, let me say something. After playing this exotic mission more times than I would like, we'll get to why. If you say combatant abilities and you make these enemies teleport any more than they already do, I am going to be so pissed, because now we have taken the teleport around, and some of these Vex guys you like look at gone. Look, gone. I'm like, can you not stand? I'm supposed to shoot you. I need at least a second to do that. The teleports are pissing me off, man. Introduce new combat challenges that you can play. Provide incentives for changing up your build crafting. Raise the power target for an activity and increase global difficulty. And that's kind of the thing, too, is like, does it just make them spongier?
Yeah.
That's kind of the question, too. Or does maybe... or they never miss kind of thing. Like, is the boss sniper always going to hit you if you're not in cover? Is there cover? Some of these maps don't freaking have it. So I will have to play it by ear. Some of this is a begrudging 41-year-old man who's played too many games.
Yes.
But I will also say, like, I will play Black Myth Wukong, get my butt kicked for a little while, and there's a fairness to the challenge. If you make it an interesting challenge, I'm okay with that. If you have giant, like, floating captain... like wisp orbs, like the big things that come at you and they can like wrap around cover. That's the little stuff that ticks me off.
Gotcha.
So it's like, if I'm behind cover and yet this thing can wrap around cover, what's the point in the cover? Like, don't give me the false sense of security. So it's like some of the polish sometimes when it's just like, that shouldn't hit me. Reward rating. So playing a difficulty, reward rating increases by playing at a higher difficulty. Applying challenge modifiers, which have individual bonuses to reward rating. Having personal bonuses from sources like power, artifacts, and buffs. And then you'll have like a team rating for your reward. Also, your personal rating will kind of give you a little bit of benefits. They're still using like, useful drops like enhancement prisms and ascendant shards that I'm going, not doing it.
Yeah. They better give me that resonance though. I'm a flip out. They better give me a source.
Yeah. Crucible, totally different thing. They're working on that one, which also means, sorry, Crucible people. Seems like your stuff is going to take a little longer to get there. Not as high of a priority because of all of this stuff that we got is here, and they don't quite even have much to talk about yet. They haven't nailed down the solution. That tells you where they're at. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, come on.
They have a concept of a plan.
There you go.
Do you have a plan? I have a concept of a plan.
Concept of a plan for Crucible. All right, Bungie.
If any of you don't get that joke, that's okay. Cut. But if you did, then it was a fun moment.
That was fantastic. Probably your best joke ever, actually. Yeah, man. Look, Crucible guys, man, we just gotta. I thought. See, this is what got me pissed because I'm like, core activities. We gonna get to it. You ain't giving us Destiny 3, so you gonna get to our core activities now. You still ain't got a plan for Gambit, and you still ain't got a plan for Crucible. Yeah. So we're back
this game
to
is
PvE.
Again. They almost just need to give up on PvP.
Yeah, just give up at this point. Like,
I am sorry. I do believe me. It's like there are plenty players in the population who play a good amount of PvP, and I applaud them because they have been through nothing but just crap for years, like lack of update, lack of balance, like things take a year to get balanced. Titans have this thing for too long. Warlocks have this thing too long. Hunter Shatter Dive, Titan One-Eyed Mask, like it's all been there for so long. And and honestly, I can around Shadowkeep when that whole team went to go work on Marathon, it's been bad. Yeah. It's been really bad since then.
Yeah. And I don't anticipate it getting better because Marathon's got to drop next year.
I was like, this is not a PvP focused game, and it hasn't been in a very long time.
Long time.
If you enjoy playing it, nothing wrong. If you can power through trials, more power to you. I applaud your efforts because that is some work. Most of the average, I will say, like probably 90% of the player base probably doesn't do that on their own frequently, much less have the skill to do it. PvP is its own set of skills. Like those of you guys have mastered the sandbox and play it well. Congratulations. Unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like a priority. And it's just the writing continues to be on the wall.
Did I miss what they said about trials earlier? That what they're doing anything?
I don't think I've seen much of anything about that.
I don't see much of trials. Yeah, okay.
Expansion activities, our old activities going away, seasonal stuff, matchmaking work with challenge customization. Matchmaking will be available for some preset difficulties, but using challenge customization to enable different challenge modifiers will disable matchmaking. That was an annoying thing for me. I think I do remember reading through this. So matchmaking will be available for some preset difficulties, but using challenge customization to enable challenge modifiers will disable matchmaking. That honestly kind of kills it a little bit for me right there. If you can't have like a voting system, which we don't even have voting on Crucible maps, so I know it's asking a lot, but if you can't put challenge modifiers on in matchmaking and even give it a shot, and you're saying Fire Team Finder is the only way to do challenges? Besides just the base difficulty, I feel like you're kind of missing some of the point in this. Like, you don't have to have, if you're like, this person proposed this one, or I don't know if you could just like have a vote on a scale. I don't know how, in my head, that would be a different thing to work through. But if you can't turn them on at all, I feel like you do miss some of the point. And this is where it's always like, what has matchmaking and what doesn't? If you put it on and you fail, I went into a substantial difficulty threat. What are those things called? Operations in Space Marine 2. I have failed 2 out of the 5 of them that I've done. I will say that is one thing that Bungie needs to be okay with, is people failing activities to know that, hey, this is not an easy thing to do. I need to kind of rethink my strategy. I need to get my act together. And go back and try again. Like, why do you think the games that I've played years and years and years, just because I've failed doesn't mean I'm done? Like, I don't want the participation medal to be the only way you get through this thing.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Which is the dilemma for them.
If you're like, hey, challenge modifiers are on this matchmaking, let's try these couple, and you're like, all right, okay, I bombed that one. Let me rethink my strategy. But you can try. That's one of those things. Like, raid communication's one thing. Matchmaking a couple challenge modifiers and a strike. And if you highlight and be like, Solar Thread is like, if you highlight these things and even give a pop-up to say, currently check the challenges, just do some pop-up to be like, check your challenges, have a ready system to make sure everybody's ready. and then give it a shot. If you fail, you fail. Like people need to be allowed to fail on some of this stuff. Just me.
Yeah, I think that the fear is they're so afraid of player retention and losing that super casual base that it's what Travis has always lamented with Trials went them through the metamorphosis.
I mean, that's fair,
right?
To a point, but if somebody does that and you're like, I don't want to like rematch make or something, just have an option to do that. These challenges have been proposed. Would you like to try these challenges, or would you like to try to match again? And if you at least have a reasonable player base in PvE, which you probably should most of the time, that shouldn't be that hard.
I would think it would be that much development lift, but the simplest things still to this day, like I was playing Towerborn, just unrelated, and I pressed down on the D-pad and I had a selection of 9 emotes. I was like, oh my God. I've been asking for this for Destiny for the longest. Like you would think the game that wants to sell you emotes and dances, and you would think so. It's got to be this, not to be disrespectful, the spaghetti code development lift that's just so difficult for them to do these things that we think are simple that they still cannot do
at a foundational level. And that is one of the reasons why people wanted Destiny 3.
Yes,
those types of things of like, hey, I want an emote wheel. Like 1,700 other games have those. Do you have? No.
Yeah.
How old's your game? 10 years. And you still can't do it? Try again.
Bro, I played Black Ops 6 beta for the first time. Obviously, it's in Game Pass Ultimate. They let me do that thing. Bro, I almost lost my mind when before the match, it had a vote system to pick what map we wanted to and what mode we wanted to do next. That's how depraved I've been by playing Destiny. I was like, yo, this exists? Wow. That's the thing. Yeah.
What else? So we've talked about challenge customization, talked about the portal. Briefly, let's touch on weapons and armor tiers.
Yeah.
So you're going to have reward pools. So you're going to have your core PvE, core PvP, Pinnacle PvE, Pinnacle PvP. Expansion and stories, they're going to have their pools of weapons. You're going to have like a tag of new gear, which is around for this new season or this expansion, so you know what's new versus old.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing, probably the discussion, we kind of talked around it already, are weapon tiers. Now, what I see here is a picture of weapon tier 5. Looks like we have enhancements on barrels, magazines, perk 3 and 4. Sortie, when your sword isn't cutting it, you can count on Sortie the scout rifle.
The flavor text is good for this.
It's also Kvastov, which isn't a scout rifle. This is beyond flavor filler. So, legendary weapons and armor will be available in a deeper range of quality tiers. That layer on properties like stat bonuses, enhanced perks, and other benefits. For weapons, this will be similar to how adept weapons upgrade the baseline legendary. The base tier legendary weapons and armor will be equivalent to current day legendaries, with higher tiers being generally equivalent to adept weapons in terms of upgrades. These higher tiers of weapons and armor will be available from the full range of core activities as rewards for higher challenge tiers and mastery of those activities. So they still haven't sold me on armor because this is one of those things where I still think they have a concept of a plan, because they mention higher stats equivalent to adept weapons. They didn't even mention artifice in this section.
Yeah, at all.
I don't know if they know what to do with armor.
Bro, it's pretty depressing. I gotta give you a hug, a virtual hug on this one, bro. Like, for all these years, this was the most disappointed I was. Like, look, get it, weapons, we understand it's a core part of the game. I get that. You want to do these implemental upgrades, you want to try to add more life to, the current pool, fine. Even though you ain't giving us no floor space, but whatever. My thing
different is problem, but yeah, we'll see.
That whole different problem. But it's like, bro, like armor is absolutely useless. Like outside of an exotic armor right now, there is no reason. I mean, yeah, you got cute with it.
You may as well just give me mod slots.
Yeah, you got cute with the exotic armor. I mean, class item. Okay, fine, cool. And thank God they had time to put that in with the extra delay, right? But the reality is like you have to do something with armor. There is no tangible benefit. Once you get a good stat roll, there's no reason for me to change anything off. I got transmog to change how I look. Why am I picking up armor for? Why is it even? You
still shouldn't have to pay for.
Yeah, that part. Exactly. Yeah. But it's disappointing that still we haven't heard anything from that. And I don't even like they say weapon and armor tiers. Like where's the armor tier? What's that doing?
Yeah.
Where's that?
There's no concept for that yet.
Yeah, like
now for even me though, is like, does enhanced field tested enhanced light mag and enhanced hammerforged rifling, does that make me want to go bash my head through like expert level 3?
And waste all my mats for +3, +2 reload. Let's be honest, some of these enhanced joints be trash. Like it's only like a subset.
And you want to know why they're trash?
Yeah,
I'll tell you, it's PvP. Has been for the longest time because they cannot separate these sandboxes.
Right.
And I understand the game is unique for that sense. You can go get a weapon over here that is now enhanced, and I can take it into PvP. That's fine.
Yeah.
If you take a tier 5 sortie and you go take it in, yeah, somebody had fun.
Hilarious.
Somebody had fun. And you take that into PvP, and it is substantially better. You're doing the same thing. So then you get to the point of like, wow, if you cannot separate the sandboxes at that point, you cannot make my PvE drops worth, like if you, it is why we have been so hamstrung to not have like, what's a set bonus? Every set bonus could be PvE only. That would not be hard.
Not be hard. And shout out to Reginald. He says, can they do like the Diablo 4 armor? I think at this point, another thing I was thinking about is like, yeah, why not just get rid of the mods, bring back, like one thing that Diablo does good is like, hey, this armor will get plus something towards, reload or something. Like you got to change this whole thing up. Let's be honest, the mods are trash right now. All we use on weapons is like reload. I mean, extra mag, and that's it. Like we're utilizing the same old mods, and the rest is just completely used. Now they did say they were gonna revisit that. I remember them saying, this was like a holder. They're figuring that out in maybe another TWID, but like it's really bad. It sticks out like a sore thumb when you play other games. And you just go like, bro, like this got to get changed. Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, Zach said it. I've said it forever. Like 5/8 of your armor. You have 3 drops with weapons that have some entertaining. Otherwise, they're just buckets for mods.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. The most exciting. Yeah, I'm sorry. The most exciting part of any season or whatever is really just what's the artifact gonna do to change the sandbox? But as far as the excitement of a drop when you get a pair of legs of anything on, nothing.
Yep. So that's kind of why I was like, a non-linear story, setting up a new multi-year saga. I'll be here for the story. Am I gonna go grind out a tier 6 weapon? I'm gonna find it's gonna be hard to find reasons to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, it's like, do I play the exotic mission on normal and experience it? Or do I bash my head through an expert level for a couple of things? Lately, it just hasn't felt worth it. I don't need to spend the extra time on something that I really just am not that concerned about. This Void Rifles Catalyst, just hasn't really been. Even the exotic mission recently, I do probably need to run it on expert one more time before things go, but I don't really want to.
Yeah, no, I guess.
Or I got to go out and find a group, and that's again why, Prescott was talking about solo activities. You still got to go find. If you want to do some of these things, you got to go find a group. And again, Space Marine's kind of a group thing, same idea, I guess. So you got to decide if it's for you.
Yep, no, I get it.
The tiered weapons, not that exciting from what I'm seeing yet. Tiered armor, don't even know what you mean.
I'm dying to know what an enhanced origin perk does. Plus 1 more second on radiator and fluid.
Yeah.
It's going to be so whack like that.
I mean, we're going to go back to the TWID days of like 0.04% increased damage on an auto rifle or something. It's like, that's kind of the thing, is like they are hamstrung by limitations of both PvP and trying not to break a game.
Yes.
But as Helldivers has learned, let them have fun.
Yeah.
And if you're also going to sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you're going to go tell somebody to go after like master level 4, I better get more powerful, because if you just make them spongy, no, that's not doing it.
Yeah, and I almost want them. This is where I miss Outriders. Remember Outriders?
Dude, they did a lot right.
Remember when you broke down a weapon, armor, and you could take the perks from the thing and put it to where you want? Oh my God, wasn't that novel? Man, it like this is a lot of this stuff is just holding on stuff because they just can't do what they want to do without Destiny 3 right now.
And it
seems like we're still in that mix. Yeah.
I was like, there are only so many horizontal moves within weapons that I want to grind for.
Correct.
I mean, like shout out to Chris Proctor, Mercules, and everybody else on the weapons team. They are doing all they can within the space they are allowed. They have been creative. We've had Incandescent and Volt Shot, and Repulsor, and I mean, there is a little bit of power creep in there to get a little bit stronger for sure. Like
power creep is creepy.
But there is a cap of what they can do, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Also make Void perks a little bit more exciting. I think the Solar has really surpassed everything with he'll clip Incandescent. We know Volt Shot is what it is and thing. I think Void
still has felt weak.
Yeah, it felt weak. Yeah.
Like if you can get destabilized to trigger well, it's got its fun moment, but it still just feels inconsistent and unreliable compared to the other two.
I agree.
And the other two are strong as hell.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at on weapon tiers, and that's most of like the paving the way and a lot of what is coming. Quick touch on the TWIB, and then we can kind of wrap up with Act 3.
Yeah.
TWID, new dungeon on October 11th. So at reset for Revenant, we will have the new dungeon. It's like, I am not saving bounties.
You're not.
I'm done. I can't be bothered. Like, it's just, I cannot be bothered to go grind out bounties on every character for some experience to jump ahead on the artifact. Like, I'm still not done with my Pinnacle grind because I'll eventually get there. But I'm not even done with that. Just because I'll slowly get some levels. I'll slowly get some weekly reset challenges. And eventually I'll be up there. But I'm like, I have 36 weeks of these episodes and nothing's going to change there. Yeah. So I haven't done that. But the new dungeon, excited to see that one. We'll jump in. We'll see. We'll check it out. We'll feature... What? Hold on. God damn it.
Whoa.
We have tons of new details to share with you before the launch of Revenant. But we want to focus on one bit, the new dungeon. Launching on Friday, October 11th at 10 a.m., the new dungeon will feature a contest mode for the first time. So gather your favorite fire team, save the date. So the problem with that, I like to run through those things by myself. And that's going to be like a solo expert run on your first run.
It's going to be hell for you.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to go find a group to even try and get it done.
Yeah. Wow. So we're doing contest modes on dungeon. What's this about?
They're running out of ideas to have hype.
Engagement. Yeah, engagement. Get the Twitch, get the streams going. Yeah. Interesting. I've never seen that. Yeah.
No, I mean, they never have. That means they want to try and have people do. So you're just going to have like teams are still going to wreck a dungeon. That's the thing about a dungeon is it is typically it is built to be soloable. Like they build them that way specifically, but then like a 3-person team usually can kind of make mincemeat of it if they know what they're doing.
Wait a minute. For this contest mode, I don't see any jackets. I don't see any special.
Yeah, they're just going to force you into expert for the first 2 so it lasts longer. That's all they're doing in my head. Is they're going to make the first, like, the clearing. And again, you're going to go see Salta Greppo still do it in half an hour or whatever, maybe an hour.
I can't get a t-shirt.
Oh, you can buy you can buy 12 t-shirts. You can get there's a clean Cade t-shirt right now. It's got a little Earth logo and then just simple text down the back, but I have so many damn shirts.
What type of nonsense is this? What's this love of the game contest mode stuff? What happened to World's First? Where we at? Wow. Okay. Yeah. October. All right. In fairness, I will give them time because it is September now. But you better give me something. Mode. Yeah, you got to reward the community.
If I get the group together and I beat it, I got to get something for it. I need my rewards.
Need my reward, damn it.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure there was anything else before we talked about.
Yeah, I know you're ready to go for
Act 3. So have you played this week, or how much of Act 3 have you done?
I have not done Act 3, bro.
None. So you haven't done Encore?
Nope, because I couldn't get my group together when I got on too late. And I was like, damn. And I want that rifle because it's broken. And it looks like I need to have this now.
Well, it's going to get fixed in episode 2. So don't worry about it too much.
So how long? Episode 2 is how long? We're coming up on it, right?
A month. That's the 8th. October 8th.
At that time.
Yeah.
No, I might actually need your services, bro. I might need that backpack run, bro.
I mean, yeah, this mission I can run through on normal. That's not hard. Yeah, I need to do one. I need to do one expert run because I can do all the other challenges for the damn quest. I just need to do one expert run.
Yeah, let's pick a time and let's just get that done. I definitely would like to get the premium experience. I love it.
I'm not promising a lot if it's on expert, but yeah, like
No,
normally,
not expert.
Normal I can
Regular,
do in my sleep. Yeah,
yeah,
that's fine.
normal. I need that normal.
So, Act 3
Yes,
has been
yes.
nothing but this mission. It has been go to Nessus to do some space chores. Truly, every week has been some variation on go to Nessus to do space chores, go to the exotic mission.
Wait, that's it?
That's basically been it.
Wait. So we're not even. They keep rehashing the exotic mission as part.
There were a couple more enemies each week.
I thought that I would just be able to do that one time, and then there's
no. I've run that thing like 7 times now. Because I run it once for a week, and then if you want to go do NES 007, then you might have to, like, then you got to go back in there and get some kills. And then for NES 008, you got to go do certain things. Yeah, I forget all the specifics to each one of them. I'd have to go look them up. But, yeah, when NES, which you get inside of one of the, like when you get the command frame upgrade.
Yeah.
So, like, you get the first upgrade. I also got the specimen for NES 007.
Yeah.
So then part of it is...
He said, brother, you're not making me want to lie.
I know, I'm sorry, but I'm being honest.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so then you get NES 007, and you're like, hey, you need to go back into Encore and get kills in there with Arc or whatever. Then, I forget what NES 008 was. That was part of it. I think 009 didn't have to do with Encore, but it was just as tedious.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
So they
and then there's an epilogue that's also in Encore after you beat the story, but you have to beat the mission on Encore this week to then go do the epilogue to go back into Encore to finish the epilogue.
Bro, they ain't got nothing but Encore as content.
And I ran it like 6 or 7 times. I probably ran it 1 or 2 extra to make the video, but I've probably run it. Oh, and it was bugged the first week.
Yeah.
So I fought that boss a lot of times. It is supposedly fixed as of this week.
All right. Prescott said, is it long? Is it that long? I mean, is it time consuming?
It's not short. Yeah, there's no running through like Whisper in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, like it's not a Whisper.
It's going to be 45 or an hour. It's not short.
God.
It's just
I'm not making
now you can probably blow through it faster with a group.
Yeah, a 3-man.
3-man will be faster for damage at certain points, but yeah.
What's the loadout I should be going in there with? Give me
it depends on the week. They've been changing the surges, and so I've had 3 different loadouts, 3 different weeks. This week was Void and Stasis, I believe.
All right, so the Void and Stasis, you running in there. You actually running in there with the weapon because you have it now. I heard it's busted.
I didn't use the weapon.
It's fun.
I didn't use it though.
Okay, but you don't be. I heard it's like super broken.
It might be, but I just had I was solo, so I'm like have to go with my dependable stuff.
Gotcha,
you want to have fun with it? Yeah, it could be fun with a group.
And
it's probably not bad in and of itself, but yeah.
Okay. And Stasis, so what heavy you use it for Stasis to get your DPS?
Oh, I did Void. I've gone machine gun basically the whole time.
I noticed. I watched your first video. You did the strand machine gun. Because
there's enough ads in a lot of places, being able to melt those down in places. And then for Hunter, like Tether, then I can do it was sniper and machine gun like my whole way through.
Are you using artifact with the sniper, extra sniper's patience thing? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I mean, if I like tethered or whatever, and then I was using the kinetic trimmers one that I've been using. This last week I used the stasis sniper. Either way, like sniper, sniper. It was like 4 times the charm sniper, and you're shooting a big Hydra in the face. So I'm just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
So.
And which machine gun are you using for?
It varied for. Hold on, where do I even have that open?
Nope. Get that dim open.
Whatever the strand one is, I've got a pretty good roll. I was using that for one of the strand weeks.
The 450, the Mikado joint? Oh, you're not even using the new one from the Pale Heart? That 900 is nice, man. With bait and switch and all that.
Well, I have a triple tap Onslaught Mercado.
Oh, okay.
I also have a triple. Yeah, I had a pretty good Mercado. I used Hammerhead. I had a killing tally and 4th times Hammerhead.
Nice.
I mean, nice. Not hard to go wrong there. I forget what the middle week was. Oh, Thunderlord was Arc.
Oh, you gotta
Thunderlord
pick
cooked, by the way.
Cooked in there? Nice.
Well, you just
know,
hold the
Thunderlord.
button and it just refills itself, man. You never run out of ammo. So yeah,
Thinking
Thunderlord
DJ
cooked.
Arnold, that's all he likes. What are we gonna use for DPS? Thunderlord? He always
Well,
says
then, yeah, it was the supremacy for the first couple weeks because there was nothing for like the top, and then I have a stasis sniper that's like 4 times the charm that I've used.
right. Supremacy was from Last Wish.
Yep, it got a rehash, and then
Yeah.
eventually from I think all of the Marasov and Riven stuff, I got the kinetic trimmers, rewind rounds, crafted one. So I mean, yeah, I haven't crafted, so that one's been solid.
Ooh, that's nice. I gotta get that. That's sick. All right.
So would you like to know how the story ends?
Yeah, let's go. Let's just go.
Now, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is possible, being as Act 3 started with an exotic quest? Then week 2, go back into the exotic quests. What do you think they can do for the final one?
That you've already done.
No, I know what it is. I'm just asking you. 2 weeks in a row, it was involving the exotic quest. So what would you hope to see from it, or what would you expect to see from it?
What I would hope is to not do the exotic quest again.
Wrong. Try again.
I figured you were leading the witness. So
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah. Jesus. All right. We're back in there again. And did we get a nice little... Did we get any cinematic? Did Jimmy's team come out? We got a cinematic?
We got a in-game cinematic.
Okay. We got an in-game cinematic. At this point, I'm going to guess the conductor, a.k.a. Maya Cinderesh. Are we still... We're past the tormenting saint phase, I'm hoping, right? We're past that.
Yeah, that was done on like week 2.
That was done on week 2, which I still got to catch up. I want you to tell me, because there's a part of me, you don't have to give me every explicit detail, but I just want to know what the new motivation for said character is.
So Maya is trying to find Kiona, trying to find a real version of her.
Yes.
You figure out in the final week that she's been going through like the network trying to find a real version of her. She already did and degaussed her as well. So she's passed over the real one previously that was from our timeline.
Got it.
So the real one's already done and gone. So she's never going to find the one she wants. So we get to the end. She's standing in the same pool in the same cinematic area that we talked to her before. She tries to control the 3 of us, kind of makes our weapons go down a little bit. And then by, I guess, sheer will, Saint and Ikora break out of her control, throw a couple supers at her, damage her but not kill her. She falls down into the radial area and then still has the echo and falls over the waterfall and goes away.
That seems like, you know what that remind me of?
Chat, let me know if I missed anything.
Yeah, so she fell over the waterfall. We saw the fall.
She's damaged but not destroyed. Falls into the radial layer and just kind of like drifts away down the river, or maybe down the waterfall, but basically back into the radial area she goes. But she still has the echo.
And she still has the echo. All right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man.
It was just like, oh, you're controlled. Okay, no. Throw sword, throw Nova Bomb, see ya.
It's like what they doing with this stuff. You know what they remind me of? They're in like, this is literally like the MCU season 4 post Endgame. Like we start these new threads. Nothing's really just hitting just yet because we just came off the best big bad, the best ending, the best, you know what I mean, of the Witness and stuff. The same way with Thanos, so she should go into PvP.
Yeah, she ain't a Nova Bomb.
Look, I mean, yeah, this one it don't seem like it's hitting. I'm a little bit more hopeful for the fallen darker vampire. Let's see what happens there. But yeah, this is sound like a complete miss because we're done with the Vex storyline with this. This is it. This is the conclusion.
This is the finale.
And now it hit me now. Okay, see now
run through the exotic mission like 6 times, and then after you beat the exotic mission this week, then you get your cinematic.
That's the first episode's the failure. Like this is hot trash. Like this is not. It's not what we came for.
You were all excited about the whole Osiris and Saint thing at first. I'm like, the thing about the Osiris and Saint thing, I have 0 problems with that part being told.
Yeah.
Does absolutely nothing for this Vex story.
Yeah, 0. And
like you could have like an existential crisis about yourself at any point, in any time, in any reference, in any place. it does nothing. It was pretty much done in the second week.
In the second week.
And then it's been a whole bunch of like, what is this thing? And we didn't meet her until Act 3. There was no build up. And then it was just kind of here and then gone.
It was disappointing. The reason why I had hope is because I like the idea of a single entity controlling the Vex. But like and this is a very famed character. Like this, Maya Sunder, this is a big deal, right? This is not handled right. What you mean she just floated into the lake and float down the river and that? Oh man, I don't know. The only saving grace of the mission.
You do only have to do it once on Expert. So there's like 3 different quests for the catalysts, and there's different places you can go through. But you only have to do it on Expert once, because if you do that on Expert and then you do the first quest, when you go back and pick it up, the Expert is checked. So they don't make you rerun it on Expert.
So when they beat it, they like, yo, we got to look out for the threat again. She's destroyed. Like, what's the post go to the terminal talk? You know how
she may come back later. She's in the Vex network at this point. I don't know.
We ain't retrieved the body. We ain't gonna lock her up. Like, what are we doing
she
out here?
Pretty much just got away with the Echo. She was damaged, but got away. Picture who's the Vex captain lady?
The Vex captain lady
from the Ice.
Oh, Sloan?
No, the Stasis Fallen captain, boss of.
Oh, you talking about from
Beyond Light? Yeah,
Aramis.
Aramis. Remember how she just kind of like scampered away?
That's what it thought. It felt like Aramis to me when
basically.
You said it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, wow.
Yeah, it felt like the Aramis. Like,
yeah,
we'll see you later.
She could always come back, guys. Stay on. Be wary, Guardian.
Something like that.
That's first of all, it's a terrible way to handle Maya Sundaresh. That character is very big in the lore. Any word from the lore guys? We hear what Mylan and Bife saying.
Bife has a video on it. He's not too excited. He's like, there's some story stuff in here, but just I don't think he was too thrilled with it.
Yeah.
Scarrow was just like, is that all that's happening? Because if that's all it is, then sheesh. That was kind of his tweet.
Oh, you know Scarrow ain't feeling it. Yeah, he logged all the way.
No, I got done with chat and I was like, all right.
And what do you mean we just broke free? What was the will of the Guardian?
I kid you not. You go look up somebody's got the cinematic. Somebody has the cinematic because people will do this all the time. And it's just like, she's compelling you. Join me. Yes. And it's like she's trying to like pull you to the radial area. And then all of a sudden Saint's like, no, not this time. That's literally what it is.
Oh no. Yeah.
And then Ikora's like, bam.
They wrote themselves into a corner because they made it seem like she was all of this, the way she was talking, like there's nothing we could do. I can understand if we got some object or some item to help.
No, it's literally just your will.
That's trash. I'm sorry. That's trash. And the streak of Osiris and bad storylines continues.
Yes.
God damn it.
Osiris, please leave this game. Because
kill my man at this point, man. Kill my man. He's always in the worst stories, bro. I'm sick of this. He was introduced as the most powerful guardian, the powerful warlock that ever lived. This man is in the most heinous history of Destiny stories ever made. Curse, every time my man's in a trash story.
Lightfall, Curse of Osiris, Echoes.
Oh, God. It's like when I see my man and I love him so much, it's like I know it's gonna be trash.
I know. He's a great actor too.
The actor's amazing.
Dude, I know. He's such a good actor and everything. And then it's like all of a sudden he's just like, Destiny called me. What are they gonna do now?
Look, man, Destiny,
he's getting a paycheck, man. He doesn't care. He's getting a paycheck. That's fine. But the actual Curse of Osiris,
my man gotta die. He gotta die now. He gotta die. You out here. He's basically an old feeble man doing nothing anyway. Let Saint go on a murderous rampage and try to avenge them. Move this story. Give him powers back. Do something.
Yeah, see, you want to know what would make this compelling? Saint gets like kind of like taken over. He has this like existential crisis. And then you have this moment where like Osiris comes in to try and save him, sacrifices himself. Saint goes nuts, like absolutely just like wails on Maya, pulls the Echo out, and it's just like, and then finally like holds Osiris in his arms in the radio layer and was like, hey, maybe you could live on in the Vex network, and lets him go or something. Like, I don't know. I'm making up complete lore bullshit, which I'm sure is not possible, but at least something cool would happen.
Yeah, bro. Yo, Chief, as I'm kind of tired of being the third wheel in the room between Osiris and Satan. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, you guys need a broom. Go,
you know
go,
what I'm saying?
go grab one. You do what you gotta
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
and that was my only nitpick with Final Shape in the sense of like, yeah, E's story actually sounds dope. I agree with you. His story sounds dope. Like, do the reverse. Like, Osiris did everything he did to bring Saint back, right? Went through time and space. You got him back. And then you have this tragedy now. It's the other way around. And Osiris dies. And it's like, you got to end. Yeah, bro. Like, this is, yeah, that's bad.
You want to know
that's
for me,
really bad.
actually, what kind of thing happened with Black Panther 2?
Yes.
Could not get on board with, what is her name in the movie?
Oh, I know you're talking about Shuri.
Yeah, Shuri. I could not get on board. I thought she was gonna like face up against him, like potentially die or whatever. And then the one that I thought should take it, I forget her name. It's like, I don't know if it's Naomi or who, I forget the name of the character, but you know who I am. Like,
I know you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Chadwick's like love in the first one kind of thing.
Yes.
She is the one who deserved the mantle because she's the one who felt like, because like, I'm sorry, but Shuri was a kind of a bitch in the second movie. And I'm like, she did not justify getting the mantle at all. So I really thought like, this is kind of a thing. It's just like, there are better ways to do this in my opinion. So I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, Osiris Mains, but yeah, this is bad luck for us. And
so that is the quote of the week. Osiris gotta die.
He gotta
from Cog.
He gotta. Yo, I need
LordCognito, Osiris gotta die.
He's gotta die. I love you, but you got to go. You're holding up the story, man. It just they don't know what to do with you. They don't know what to do with you. That's just what it is. So it's a shame. The actor's amazing. So we'll see what happens with the rest of this game.
Yeah, Act 3 went out with a whimper. Now, here's one of my big issues with this, just to end the episode. Yeah. This is the episode that came with Witch Queen. Now, if you didn't spend $100 on the year and you only bought this one, how many people do you think you've sold to try and go play Revenant now and go pay for Revenant after this?
Yeah. This is bad because, again, episodes really prove nothing but an extended chopped up version of a whack season, and you didn't execute the plan how this is supposed to be so much different. And you're not building up hype for the storyline. And look, I get it. You just came off The Witness. I know that is a difficult thing to top. I get that, but what you just explained, bro, it's gonna take everything in my power to even boot this game on. Like, I'm like, bro, like that's rough. Like, you know what it is? They even said it in the tweet. They want to do the next storyline. They said they're gonna end it with like this gasoline moment. Where's the gasoline? Where the gas at, bro? That is no gas. I'm driving.
That gas station's out of fuel. Like, there's nothing.
We ain't got no petrol, bro. Like, this ain't it, man. So yeah, we needed that very, emotional end to the sequel. Oh boy, what's about to happen? And yeah, that's just where we at. Yeah,
there was just not really any big moment in this entire season
at all.
There was no real memorable times in this one. This is kind of like the opening and closing of the Helm door for Nightfall. Truly, I know these are like enclosed stories, but in this one, it truly feels like nothing happened. We went in deeper into Nessus to try and find her. We found her and she got away. So we're back to trying to either chase her down or leave her be. But like, we truly accomplished nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
What it feels like.
And do you feel the power of the echo thing? I don't even feel the echo stuff is translating.
It's like they had the point where like, oh, she's compelling her guardians 4 or 5 seconds this time, and then we're good, apparently, because we have willpower now. I don't know. Like, Bife's video I probably would need to like listen to in a bit more detail to see if there's something there, but no, like I am sorry, like, to probably rag on something this hard, but it just did not hit for me.
Yeah, it just did not hit, and that's what it is. Right now, there's nothing. The echo in a post-witness world is just still not compelling enough to care right now. That's the problem, and I struggle because they need time to build up a big bad. And do you even think they do the winnower? At this point, like that's the other thing, right?
Yeah. So, what is the winnower? The next multi-year saga?
Yeah. G-Man said it best. The Pico side is when he actually savaged. Yeah, like when he got almost killed, right? His story was dope. Like I ain't go front. Like they violated my man, but I was like, yo, this
Splicer? Is that right?
The best part is when he got taken over.
Yeah.
And she was in the tower, and that was awesome. Yeah. No gas.
So when Osiris wasn't Osiris is when he was good.
So you ain't it's cut. That's the rule that cut deep.
I'm just pouring salt, man.
Yeah, you have to say it like that. But it was true.
Yeah,
Sadly,
so yeah, Prescott's like, I love Bife, but he's been fighting for this story more than the story deserves. That's yeah, I think some people were saying, hey, this story is trash, and he didn't like people saying that the story was trash.
Ooh, okay, by fighting back, okay.
But again, from what I got on screen, I didn't look at the lore books.
Yeah.
But I was like, from what I was presented on screen, not a lot happened.
Yeah. I just don't like the fact that they let the body go. Like, why would they do that? Like, you know what I mean? Go get that. Like, go retrieve that.
Anything, something, I don't know. Yeah, it's yes.
Yeah. Oh wow, it's a shame.
Yes, go look up the YouTube video if you're really not too concerned, but we'll see if we can get a playthrough going.
No, I need to get that gun. I need to get me and you, I need to play. I need to get that gun. I need to one thing I do like is that they don't got enough on staff to patch things fast enough so that this thing is broken. I need this gun.
Yeah, the swords, the 1,000 voices, all that stuff's just broken right now.
1,000 voices is crazy right now. Which I still don't have.
It has like infinite ammo basically, so yeah.
Yes.
So Dungeon on October 11th. That is the next highlight in Destiny. We will get all of Act 1, whatever that is. And my hopes are lower than they were previously. But all of Act 1 will come on the 8th. And then the dungeon on contest. I cannot believe it's contest mode.
Contest wild, yeah. I want a shirt. At minimum, Bungie. Come on.
But I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do a solo guide until like Sunday.
Yeah.
Part of me is almost like, Diablo? Maybe just play Diablo instead.
What is it? Dan? When's the Dan coming?
What is it? Vessel of Hatred is the 8th. It's the same day.
Ooh,
it's the same day as the episode.
Oh, they in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, they might want to move that.
Well, they're not moving that.
I know they locked in. Yeah, shout out to Osiris.
Diablo 4 comes out on the 8th for Vessel of Hatred, which has got mercenaries and. I mean, I need to go play the public test realm or whatever. I need to go play some just to get a feel for where things are at. Because my video that's out there right now is like really old and like 5 seasons too old. So if they've taken any of the learnings from all of these seasons and they're going to kind of move a decent amount of that stuff into like the Eternal Realm or whatever, there's a lot that I don't even understand at this point. So
I agree.
Well, I know we had a lot to cover, but we did cover it. Travis is a busy man right now, so he wasn't here today, but I also don't know when our next episode will be because obviously we got 3 weeks of nothing.
Oh yeah.
There's Iron Banner, I think, this week, but there's next 3 weeks between now and the 8th is
kind of cold out here.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be playing a bunch of other stuff. Frostpunk 2, Plucky Squire. I gotta work through Black Myth Wukong. Yeah. I do want to finish Outlaws, but I'll do that offline. So, I mean, I'm just trying to play through some games right now, but my reason to log into Destiny is apparently going to be just you.
yeah, just bro.
That's it, bud.
I need that. We'll schedule a day, and I need that backpack. I need that what is it? The Circle of Choir of whatever the hell it's
Choir
called?
of One.
Choir of One. I need that, and then that will allow me to advance the day. I knew something was up. Because I've never seen Destiny say, you can't advance the story until you do this exotic quest. And I was like, I knew something was up. And then you tell me you got to keep going back. I'm like, they didn't have that much content. And they try to milk this thing. Yeah. So.
Yeah, they made you run it enough times. I got a little tired of it.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I'm going over here. Oh, I'm going over here. Oh, I'm doing this thing. I got to that point.
Yeah. I got it. Yep. We figured out, so we got a little break for a little bit.
All right, everybody. Well, sorry to bash on this episode. Basically this episode. Not our episode, but Echo's. But I just don't think it finished well, and there was not much of a compelling story in there at all, in my opinion. That's me. Frontiers, I will just watch with cautious curiosity. Not even optimism right now, just cautious curiosity, because I don't know how optimistic I'm going to be until they prove me otherwise. So.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. We just got to be, cautiously try to be optimistic, but at the end of the day, it's just like we have to be realistic at what's going on here, right? And right now, it's just too many other games that are actually in a good place. They're still in this transition. They're still trying to figure this thing out. You know, at least we getting an idea of what Frontiers possibly could be. But like we both said, it's the execution, and we until we see these things that actually implement it very well. We don't have a lot of faith right now that it can change in the shop. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope they do land in this because there's a lot of still good people there. But right now, this is not hitting right now. So
shout out to the Niners though for week 1.
Oh yes,
making Aaron Rodgers look like a chump, which I'm happy to see all the time now.
We kind of own him. We got to be real. It's been many years we've kind of beat up on that man. You know what I mean?
I was like, if we lose to the Jets, I'm honestly worried about the season. But Remnant 2 drops their final DLC. That's another big one on the 24th. Yeah, there's too many things stacked up together right now.
Too many things, bro.
I didn't play any of the DLC. Like I would have that all 3 DLC to go through right now, which would be hell of a playthrough.
Big. Oh yeah.
But yeah, Niners looked good. We got 1 week, but we got a long way to go. I just want Mahomes to start losing a little bit because he ended up beating the Ravens by an inch. By 1 inch, and I was like,
I'm worried that that was the year.
That was it. Yeah. No, I'm
the worst version of themselves, and now they look better.
I know.
You know what I mean? We look better, but I am worried because
we got a backup running back. I got to tell you that though. What's his name?
Mason.
Mason. Yeah, I thought it was Mason. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he was good. Yeah.
Man, I was like, McCaffrey's out. I'm like, Mason.
Oh yeah.
I love those moments for any like second, third string guys when they get their shot. Because who else? Because Mitchell, is he injured right now? Is that right?
No, I think he's out for the season.
Yeah, he's IR. So he's like, third string, I think is where Mason probably was. Got his chance to sign 100 yards. Just right. I sent you the picture of that play, which I can't repeat the tweet, but it was hilarious because I can't repeat it. But basically, it just says, "Run it up, give it to him, and he'll go." That's kind of the nice way to say what the tweet was. So go Niners, enjoy your football. It's nice to be back in that one.
Yes, sir.
So this is a long episode. Thank you guys for all being here for this one. Thank you for the super chats, the support, the love, listening on audio, watching on video. Yep, I got that right. And thank you all very much. We will let you guys know. Just stay tuned for notifications and Twitter and everything. And whenever our next episode is going to be, we'll let you know. If we've got a big kind of hype build up, maybe like right before Revenant, but also sometimes on these things, they drop it like the day before. So we kind of have to play it by ear for how much we're going to have to talk about for Revenant. I don't know when we're going to get to kind of the next episode. Just give it a week or two. And if we get a big build up, maybe the week before Revenant, and then we'll have Dungeon and Act 1 and some stuff there. Hopefully we'll see. So thank you guys very much. Cog, anything you got to call out, shout out, or otherwise? Go watch all of Defining Duke and ILP.
Appreciate you. No, it's good to everybody that still showed up to check in, get to talk with you. I missed you. I haven't got a chance to pod with you in a minute. So I was like, it's due. The boys got to get back together. Send Trav some love. He's busy too. And it's good. It's good to talk. And like I said, good to see everybody still pull up, see what's going on like the old days. That's fun.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thanks for this episode. 308, I think we're up to now. So, October is going to be busy and we'll see you soon. But for this episode, it has been the last word.
Last word.